Right.
Are you live?
All right. Shalom. Shalom. I
Shalom.
want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory.
To Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Kakadash.
Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of great millstone who well. Peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right. It's men of valor coming back at you with another lesson. All right. We out here live. Okay. And this time we're going to go into, as the title says, all right, permanent lockdowns coming. Okay. Now, permanent lockdowns is coming because we are basically in a state of uncertainty, in a state of unrest. Okay. And we see the steps that this devil, okay, this beast, these elites are trying to do, okay, to bring about that so-called new world order, the elite beast, the elite beast. All right. And I seen here, we have this here, we're going to bring out the brother, the channel, it goes by the channel Rawai, I forgot.
Ash Lawyer.
Yeah, Rawai Ash Lawyer. All right, he puts up a lot of dope ass videos, okay, and this morning I woke up and I seen that he posted a video, so I clicked on the link, all right, and it led me to this website called files.constantcontact.com, and it's a memorandum. And in the memorandum, they pretty much, in the UK, they've written down the steps that they're going to take, okay, to bring about a permanent lockdown. All right, so it depends on, it goes into how they're going to influence the people through the media. All right, what they're going to use the police to be doing to the people who don't comply. All right, these are all steps that they've written down that they're about to do to these people, man. Us out there in the UK. So remember, the UK has basically been a big test. The UK, Canada, and Australia. These are three countries, okay, that are actually ruled by the UK, the monarch. Going back to Saxe Coburg Gotha, okay, which is the true name of these the so-called Queen of England and so on and so forth. All right, Elizabeth and all that. That's where they go back to. Okay, and they're the ones who own, I think 98 or 91% of all of Canada. Okay, they own Australia and of course the UK. Okay, but let's get right into it. And then if you got precepts, you're gonna flow with that. It says, subject, all right, next steps, permanent lockdown of the UK, private and confidential. It says, with the impending decision and announcement to be made later today by the Prime Minister in regards to the 4-week extension of the lockdown of the United Kingdom, we now have a relatively short window of opportunity with which to finalize our next steps of the process. You see? So what kind of process are they talking about? They have 4 weeks to finalize certain steps. Revelation 12 and 12. Okay? Revelation 12 and 12 says what? If you could pull that up. Yeah, God, you know? So this is all what? An agenda. Like people like to say, oh, you guys are conspiracy theorists. This is not a conspiracy. This is an agenda. There's two different things. Okay? An agenda means what? Something to be done. All right? They're going to follow steps to make it happen. All right? Get that?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Right. So we're going to read about the plans that they have to take over people with wrath. They're going to do that because they know that they have but a short time. And as we read, you're going to hear a lot of, you know, this is a short window of opportunity that we have, and little terms like that to show you what they're planning to do. Okay, that they know that they have but a short time, meaning that they're going to be taking less BS from the people. There'll be less tolerance for your non-compliant spirit, man. So that means that they're going to take drastic measures to eliminate as much non-compliance as possible. That's when you're going to see the horns of the beast. That's when you're going to see the draconian measures that we've been talking about for years. Okay, they're actually going to do these things, and it's all going to be illusions because it's going to be based on what? On fallacy. Okay?
And I was saying that, and you know what they're doing in France, like we're talking about, they're trying to they're having talks in the French Senate that they're trying to make the bite mandatory, because they're saying that right now the way they have it, it's still not working. People are still not taking it, and they said they tried incentives, they tried this, that, and the third, but it's not working. Now you have positive reinforcement, you have negative reinforcement, and usually you will start with positive. Here's a reward if you do this, right? First they start with do this, and then if nobody's really doing it, they say, well, here's a reward for those who do it. Then they'll get a few to do it, and then the rest still say no. Then they move on to negative reinforcement. Okay, well, here's what happens to you if you don't do this. And that's where they're trying to go right now. And they're saying, now we're going to start, you know, trying to make this thing mandatory because we don't have enough people who want to take it. And now there's a new variant out here that's highly transmissible and it's spreading all around the world. And you know what? People are so stupid and caught up in the fact that they just open things back up. They're indulging in their lusts, in that peace and safety, and they're not seeing the signs of what these devils are about to do, as you're saying here. And it's the same thing like last year. It started off in these different countries, and guess what was the U.S. doing? Ain't shit. They weren't doing anything. They were just regular. And then the shit got so bad. Now they, oh no, now you got to put the mask back on. Now you got. It's the same thing all over again, man. And what they're gonna do is with the boiling frog method. Now it gets to the point where they're like, look, just put a lid on the top of the pot and then turn the heat all the way up. Forget that slow shit. We don't got time for that. Make sure they can't escape and then turn that shit all the way up.
And like you said, positive and negative reinforcements, at the end of the day, it goes back to conditioning. You see, going back to Revelation 13 and 16, where it says that he causeth all. Right? The causeth, the conditioning is part of causing. You see, because it's leading you to something. All right. So as we're reading, oh, and you mentioned something about how like it was like the US, like Babylon last year, where it's like people weren't even paying attention to stuff. They know the same thing is happening. But now the difference is you got people like us, you got people who are in the so-called truth community. You got people who are actually aware of what's happening and they know that this is all deception. So now it's gonna be harder to convince people to comply with the ridiculous new so-called variants. And as we're reading this, they say it that look, we're gonna just take a basic, everyday, you know, diseases that people suffer, and we're just gonna label it as, oh, this is a Delta variant. Yeah, that's all they're doing. So, like the flu, they'll say, oh, the flu. Oh no, this new thing has flu-like symptoms. Nigga, you just said the flu, but you just labeled it instead of saying flu, you called it COVID.
So you know, basically, if you want to get the effect of a more transmissible, deadlier virus, well, you can just say, okay, I know that the flu kills 500 people, estimate, right? Just example sake, flu kills 500 people a month, right? I'm gonna say that, oh, like you said, instead of the flu, notice that month the flu don't exist. The only thing that exists is this variant. Then they say, well, I want to double the kill rate, so I know pneumonia kills another 500 people a month. So now pneumonia don't exist no more. Now it's going to be the variant, and then the variant has flu-like symptoms, but it also has pneumonia-like symptoms. But then it also has freaking broken leg-like symptoms, but it also has diabetes-like symptoms. So now you got people that would die and they would be categorized differently, but now they're all being categorized the same and they're blaming it on this one variant. So now you're like, damn, this variant killing a lot of people. No, so people dying from pneumonia, they're dying from diabetes, they're dying from high blood pressure, but now you're labeling all of that and saying, well, so if somebody has diabetes, they think they got the variant.
Yes, sir.
Somebody got pneumonia, they think they got the variant. And the variant don't even exist like that.
That's how they're able to get all these positive cases.
The devil.
Yeah, because they frame everything. They put it underneath one thing. So no matter what it is, you're going to have that outcome.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. These devils, man. Man, see, and the scriptures say that the children of this world are wiser than the children of light in their generation. Because you know what it is? Like in Tychus Epiphanies, it tells you in Daniel 8 that he was what did it say? It's skilled. I think it says skilled in dark sayings. And when you go into that, it means that he was a master of deception. He knew how to play on the minds of the people. He knew how do you think he got Jake? You know, he knew how to work. He knows how that works. And that's how this devil, he operates. Psychology, why do you think a lot of these courses, psychology, you could go real deep in that? Because these devils have studied it. And they're like, look, we know how this works. Get that. You know?
So let's read, continue. It says, it remains crucial for everything to remain on track and for us all to remember our common purpose behind this, right? It has been tough and we will get together.
Our common purpose behind this.
You see, it's an agenda. It's not a conspiracy, it's an agenda. All right. And look, you can't keep labeling people who keep telling you things that's actually planned to be happening as conspiracy theorists just because you don't have the mental capacity and the intentional fortitude to see it for what it is. You see, because oh man, who said that? What? Somebody was saying something about how the world.
Hey, Slack, but Notice how the scriptures say somebody who falls out the truth is
It's
like
like
the dog that
goes back
just
to
like
the
that.
Yep.
See if you get that.
Yep. See, that dog is not going to let that thing go.
Like, see how disgusting that looks. If you could get it, the people can see it on camera. That's the dog going in this vomit right there. Now, if the dog would start licking that again, you'd be like, oh, that's how the Lord sees people who fall out the truth. You know, go back into the world. That's a visual example right there. That's beautiful. Clearly that's not gonna work.
Pick some sand and throw it over. Good.
That's all right.
All right. So continue. It says it has been tough, and we will get together. But provided that we stay united and that we manage to persuade the bulk of the country that we are doing this for good reasons, then we will be able to move on with our part. Or it says to move on with part 2 of the plan.
And we said it that this thing is not a one-part thing. It was never meant to end. People confuse the end for the beginning or the beginning for the end. Oh, it's over. The year is up. They open shit back up. It's over. No, they didn't. They said, "Welcome, nigga. You coming into the new normal." What they did was they opened the door and they said, "Welcome into the new world order." And you like, well, I'm running out of this hell, and you running right into some other shit.
Hey, somebody that I know was telling me. She said, "Yo, I feel like they're making us feel like we're sheep." That's the word she used. I said, "Why you say that?" She said, "Yo, I'll go to the airport, and the way they direct us is like they give us all the zigzag lines, and you got people who actually just go in like a line." And there's this guy. There was a picture that I seen. There was this guy who was at the top, and he was looking at it from a bird's eye view, and you could see like it's actually like people being led to slaughter. Yeah, it's like they following the line, and they get to the end. And I'm like, damn, like no one is even saying, "Yo, it'll be a shorter way if we have 2 straight lines instead of having this taking up all this space and everybody going around and doing all this dumb shit. Just have 2 lines, 1, 2, and then we'll be moving quicker."
But you know what they're gonna come. Well, in order to conserve space, when you look at it, if you go this way and this way, that's more space than if you just go straight ahead. Because if you can fit 10 people here, you can fit 20 people here. Some stupid ass shit like that, man. But
let's keep going. It says, in short, this will be moving towards a permanent lockdown of the country from Thursday, July 15th, with the reasons for doing so being a spike in the new Indian and Nepal variants of the virus.
But hold up, though. Wait. We went into that and found out that in India, they were actually capping. Because, hold up, you were using fake photos saying that it's so bad in India. So now what does that tell us? We can't trust what you're saying about India. So how do we know that what you're saying about this variant is true?
Right. Right here, right after it says, which, as we know, is just a rebranding of hay fever. You can look up hay fever.
Oh, man. Oh.
So we're going to read hay fever and what it is. And then we're going to see what's going to be happening in the next few weeks, next few months, what people, the symptoms that says here, what the people are going to be actually suffering. Okay? And then what the news media is going to be saying is actually happening, because they're going to play this shit all over again, where they're going to say there's a pandemic and the hospitals are overflowing and people are dying and there's nothing we could do about it. So we need to shut everything down. As we're reading.
This is basically allergies.
Let's read. What does it say?
It says hay fever, an allergy caused by pollen or dust in which the mucous membranes of the eyes and nose are itchy and inflamed, causing a runny nose and watery eyes.
You see, that's hay fever. But they're going to say that it's going to be known as the new Indian and Nepal variants. They rebranded that hay fever. That is a common thing that everybody can suffer. So that means that what? They've basically grouped up a whole thing. An allergy can become known as a virus.
Variant, yep.
It's a variant of a virus. So now you're looking at a simple allergy. You see somebody's nose running. Oh my God, that's the Nepal variant.
You can't tell.
You can't tell.
You can't tell.
That's what they're doing now. So now that people are in a state of confusion, in a state of panic and fear, that no matter what happens, whatever the government says they're going to do, they'll do it. You see, because now they're going to be backed up with not just the fear, but with the power to supplement the fear. Because guess what? When you had the time of Hitler, you had the time of Stalin, you had the time of Mao, and so on and so forth. All those were steps that they took. All right, these elites took to bring about a communist world, ultimately have that new world order agenda fulfilled. But one thing they did back then was they used military power. They always used military might. You had the Nazis, right? You know, you had Mao and the Red Communist China and all these guys. So they had military power. The czars of Russia, okay? All these things happened with military power. But you also had a people that even if you went to war with them with military power, their brain wasn't captivated enough. They weren't docile enough, so the agenda wouldn't work.
So that's the problem they had during slavery. That's why
exactly.
they had to get that Willie Lynch method.
There you go. So now what they said was, going back to what you said earlier about Esau being wiser than Daniel,
wiser than the children of light,
of light in their generation.
Exactly. Well, the scriptures do say they're wiser than Daniel,
right? So, being that being said, what did they do? They said, all right, cool. Here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna attack these people with military might anymore, or at least now. What we're gonna do is, over time, we're going to make them docile with information. You see, so if you make the people captive in the mind, you render them hopeless, or you render the ability for them to fight, that willpower, you kill that out of them. Guess what happens? They become docile.
Well, what is that? That's a virus.
That's a virus.
Because what does it do? It comes from the inside and then destroys you. You go.
See, so over time, what they did was they demoralized the American public. They put the ability for you to think critically, they took that away from you. So now all you do is depend on the media and things that, you might see somebody that you like. They'll say, oh, you go ahead, go tell them, LeBron, hey, you're a role model. Go tell them this, and then they believe it. Oh, put this on the media, and then they believe it. Oh, they'll take this and eat it up and drink it. See, so when they did that, you're so docile. Now that they're gonna bring the military in to overpower you, you already did.
Well, what did Biden say? He's gonna bring a strike force for the crime, but he's gonna bring Delta units. Remember, I put the article in there. He's gonna bring Delta units. For what? What's that about?
The Delta Force.
The Delta Force, yeah.
And we're gonna read. It says, the virus, quote unquote, has already been very profitable and fruitful for us, and there is no limit to which we cannot further profit in both financial and reputational terms.
And that's exactly what we were telling you. They had to find a method. What works best? Civil unrest, division. What's a pandemic? What's the best way to, like it says, gain money? Yeah, false. They got the 9/11s. They got all these things. But what's the best way to get the world? Terrorist attack in America. How the hell does that affect UK? Why do they care? So what can we use as a global thing? Well, we can do something, but it has to be something that can spread at a quick, fast rate. And then there you go. And I got a precept afterwards.
It says,
me too.
okay, beautiful. It says, still, we must ensure that we have complete and utter cooperation from both the government and the media with this, and use the line that, quote, it is just too risky to go ahead with summer. We can model increases of these variants in line with, for example, anti-lockdown protests. This will be a great one to push in light of recent events. Why? Because a lot of people have been protesting anti-lockdowns and so on and so forth. They could just say, hey, this protest has sparked up the cases.
That's why they allowed it.
That's why they allowed it. Number two, Euro 2021, which is a football competition in Europe, right? It says Euro 2021 football matches in England and Scotland. They could say, hey, you see, spike stadiums and all that, people coming together. Max, not max, boom, this is what happened. They're going to pull that. It says, 3, where populations swell during summer months, seaside resorts, Blackpool, Bournemouth, Brighton, Skegness. These are names in the UK.
Oh, one thing they said, you don't have to wear a mask in the gym anymore, right? So you notice they've relaxed all these things just to have an excuse. They better not say it's airborne, because then at that point, just forget it.
Well, hey, that's what they showed you in the movie Songbird. The thing was airborne, so you couldn't even just go out. If you go out, you came back home, you had to take off all your clothes and burn it. The lady was like, nah, I can't let you in. Where did you go? You went and slept with that whore. You can't come back in here and shit. That's what they're gonna do. But let's finish this, and then Russ can bring out their precept. But it's a whole lot more. It's about 4 pages. We're gonna get into it. It says, as well as the countryside and tourist traps. It says, if we can get the message out that because of these, the variants are going to be multiple and will completely crash the NHS, if not correctly dealt with immediately, then the public should be compliant, and the compliance of unquestioning nature of the masses will be crucial in getting us across the finish line, and thereby we would have played our part in the changing of the country.
Oh, across the finish line.
Yes.
See that? So this was last year was the beginning of the race.
Yes, sir.
They only got 1 lap in. Now they got to cross that finish line. See, that was bad.
Yep. It says it will then be for others to lock down as part of Caligari or Calergy and the WEF Schwab Plan, which is the World Economic Forum Global Reset Plan, right? For other reasons such as the environment and water scarcity. That's gonna be the agenda for 2022 to 2023 next year. If we're still here, Lord willing, we're not. But they're saying that that's what they're gonna be pushing.
That sounds like Jacob's trouble.
That's all Jacob's trouble. So in 2022 to 2023, the agenda is gonna be things that they're gonna be pushing out there. Reasons why you can't do certain things is because environment and water scarcity. Okay, keep going. It says food shortages. They're gonna push that for 2023, 2024. All right. The global finance and mass inflation 2024 to 2025, culminating in finalization of the UN, WHO, and WEF joint global cruelty plan in 2025. And I did a video a couple of days ago, about a week ago, going into what their plan is, depopulating, especially the American population by 2025. We have about 370 million Americans right now, based on the census. Oh, wait, actually, no. Based on 2021 census, it was 370 or 300 something, 144, and then there was some numbers after that. You see, so that's the current population now. They said they want to drop it by 2025 to about 69 million, and we're in 2021. So in about 4 years, the population is going to be done drastically. So if the population here in America is 300 something, and it's going to be dropping to 69 million, how much more the world, which has a global population of 7.8, almost 8.1 billion people. You see, so that tells you that there's going to be a lot of mass depopulation, and they're telling you the plans. Again, once again, it's not a conspiracy; it's an agenda. Those are two different things. Okay, you got a precept?
Yeah, let's get it. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O power, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
Right. And what is the secret counsel of the wicked? We're reading some of it right now.
Right.
And you notice every single year after June, July, well, after June, the later part of June, where they have that Bilderberg group meeting, things start to happen. Things like this start to happen. Whether it's going to be, new laws, whether it's false flag attacks, whatever it is, there's always something that happens after the month of June. It's because it's June. All right, keep going.
It says, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword.
Right. They whet their tongue like a sword, meaning what? They use certain words, okay, to cut you. How do they do that? They use their media. Okay, you go into the media, they could defame somebody or make somebody look like a god. Okay, but most of the time when it comes to righteousness, what do? They use the media to push a negative energy towards righteousness, man. They call good. Exactly. Okay, go ahead.
And when you go into the word wet, W-H-E-T goes into sharpening, right? You know, and like you said, they use that with their media, with their propaganda. Yep. And the scriptures talk about life and death are in the power of the tongue, right? So they can, like you said, they can either make you or destroy you, you know, with what they say. All right. It says, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Boom. See, bitter words, man. What are words? Words cut, because you put an S in front of it, it becomes what? Sword. Like it tells you Hebrews 4:12. You know what I'm saying? So the words of the Most High are quick and powerful. So is Esau. That's why they use their media, they use propaganda. How do you think they got the world to be taking a freaking vaccine and they're perfectly healthy? Because they push that narrative. They push those bitter words and tell you, if you don't do it, you're going to die. Oh, we got to save the world. Oh, if you don't do it, I mean, you can't get this, you can't get this, you can't get that. You see, now they're trying to push for this thing against righteousness, toxic masculinity, all these different things that they do in the media. And then that's what infiltrates the minds of these people who don't know any better. You see? So they can, like we said, they can literally make you or break you by just putting out the media. And that's what they're going to do to the men of the Lord. Persecution by media. Okay? And the media is just simply a middle ground between the elites and the masses. You see? It's their middle ground, the medium. All right? We'll continue on that.
Good. Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily.
Right. So what does that mean? That those plans that they have when they have those G7 summits, okay, the Bohemian Grove, all right, the Bilderberg meetings, these UN meetings. When have you ever seen a Jake at a UN meetings? I'm talking Israelite. Oh, I'm here to represent the 12 tribes of Israel, the nation of Israel. I'm here, you know, the UN and so on and so forth. It doesn't happen. You got different nations, different countries that all come together. But then in the news media, they say that they hate each other. What kind of game are you playing? How come Biden can get up from here, go to Russia and sit down with Putin, but then the next day they say, oh, Putin and Russia, and they're coming against America? Okay. You know why? It's because they're all in the same league, playing the same games. They come together and say, all right, you know, you're going to talk some shit today in your media? All right, cool. I'm going to play off. I'm gonna be cool. But guess what? I'm gonna have to threaten and make it seem like I hate you. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna bomb. You're gonna bomb. Okay, cool. You bomb it. All right, cool. When do we respond? I just come spy over us a little bit. We're gonna make some big shit out of it, and then you know people might think we hate each other. Okay, cool. But then we're gonna have a meeting out in the public so they can see that we're cool. You see? But then we hate you though.
That's why the Lord said he's gonna put an evil thought, you know, into the mind, all right, of Gog and Magog, you know, because you can see Putin got that energy of, you know, he still got that energy, but the Lord is slowly rousing it up in him. And the Most High is going to do it to where it's going to get serious. It's going to go off with the little game playing and the this, that, and the third, and it's going to actually come down to nuclear destruction.
Hey, we always say what? Cold wars always lead to hot wars, right? You know, and ultimately that hot war, when it happens, America's going to be done. After the end of that hot war, America's through. Okay? That's it. It says, bring that back on the 5.
Psalm 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
Right. So when they do these meetings, hey, Micah 2 and 1, all right, when they do these meetings, all right, and then they plan these things out, like Event 201, all right, these secret little things that they do that the media is not allowed to go into, the public is not really allowed to talk about and see. But if you do talk about it, you get your hands on some information, they label it conspiracy theory. Those kind of meetings, they think about it like, oh, who's going to see us? Because no one is here to see these things. No one is here to witness.
Some of them didn't allow
cameras to be in there. When they go for the Bilderberg meetings and stuff like that, oh, for years, nobody knew these things were happening until this guy, based on the story, Alex Jones, you know, he went and he sneaked in the middle of the night, you know, oh man, they're doing it over there. Then he started recording, and all of a sudden everybody knows about it. Man, come on, bro. They allow you to see certain things, man. Yeah. If Alex Jones was really sincere, he would have been dead a long time ago. Nigga, do you know how many people they killed because they opened their mouth and said things that they've seen?
Well, when you get sworn in, there's an oath you take that you can't say anything. There's a video of it, I actually believe that as part of the ritual, I think it's of the Freemasons or so, they actually put you in a coffin. Yes. And then they seal it up.
The skull and bones.
No, okay. For a period of time. And then so it's almost like you died and then you've been reborn when you come out the coffin as one of them. So
that's what they do.
And they got agents, I mean, everywhere. So if you even dare to try to open your mouth, they will know.
Hey, why do you think on the news media, not just the news media, but just media in general, why do you think a lot of these guys always do these little symbols? You know, you watch TV and you got guys doing this, you know, you got guys putting their hands over their eye, you know, you got guys doing 3, 3, 3, 6, 6, all this shit. They're doing initiations because that's what they do. They speak to people with emblems, with codes, okay, with what's the other one? Oh, I forgot the other one that is called. But they speak to people with signs, with symbols. Okay, so that's why you have a lot of these companies. When you look at their logo, it always has some type of satanic undertone to it. Whether it's a pyramid, whether it's an eye, whether it's a slogan, whether it's a Baphomet, whatever it is, you see. But they all go back to some type of satanic undertone, man. You see, and then you got guys. They show you that because they gotta speak to themselves. You know, when you see a guy on TV doing some shit like this, he's letting the other people know I'm also in the game with you. You see, sometimes you see a guy, hey, hands up, and then they go like this. They're showing you, hey, I'm a brother. You know, have mercy, I'm a brother. So the other ones know, okay, that's what it means. All right, he's cool. You know, let him off. You'd be like, how the fuck this nigga do all this dumb shit, and then nobody's talking about it after 5 years? He's good. It's because he's part of it. The boule and all these, they're all part of that shit, man. And the Most High is exposing all this shit, man. You see, people are finally waking up to, oh man, that's actually what's happening. Yeah, you know. So they say, who will see it? Who shall see them? You know, we're doing all these secret things. How's anyone ever gonna find out? Hey, if you do, or if you're a part of it and you do talk about it, guess what happens? They're gonna shame you openly. Look what they just did to what's his name? the guy, the black man that they just got out of jail. He was raping.
Oh, Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. I was about to say.
Yeah, there's a video.
He was walking and he did
yeah,
that.
So he's dodging cases.
Yeah, he's dodging cases.
Old ass. Yo, Jake, man, you just came out of jail.
Yeah.
Image is done. Dude comes out, he's already clowning, man.
Because he's part of that system, but he wasn't playing ball. So they had to embarrass him in front of the world and say, boy, if you don't play ball, we're gonna put your ass to death. But before we do that, we got to make the world look at you as, even if you was if he was to be killed or murdered, it's justified because look at all the fuck shit he's done. He's raping women and putting pills and shit, like all these different things that he's doing. You sleep. That's the one. You sip. You sleep. I rape. That's what he was. That's what they say he was doing.
It's a slogan, right?
It's a slogan, you know. So that's what he's doing, and then they put him out in the open, and they embarrass him. 3 years he in jail, and then he gets off on a technicality. Oh well, I mean, what's the law? Doesn't it say you're innocent until proven guilty? So if he was innocent, why the fuck was he in jail? You see, and they do that constantly to a lot of our people. A lot of Jake go through shit like that all the time. It's because you know why? You keep aligning yourself with the devil, and he's showing you that he's the devil as what the scriptures say he is. He will deceive you. He will use you for his purpose, and when he's done, he'll kick you to the curb. You see?
Sure.
Get that.
Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
And that's what they do. A lot of our people who are in jail are a lot of kids men who grew up in single mother homes. You see, there was a guy who came out there, I forgot what interview it was, and he said, yo, when I went to jail, man, the only types of people I saw was blacks and Latinos. I said, that's Israelites. You see? So you want to talk about slavery is over, nigga, slavery is still alive and well, man. All right? Because America runs on the backs of so-called blacks and Latinos in the work that we do. Back then, it was on plantations, and now it's on the modern plantation, which is work. Yes.
It's the book of Isaiah. You got that?
You can go.
Okay. The book of Isaiah 14:17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. And that's like you were saying going into Esau. You got something on?
The brother Prince of Yahweh. This is Micah chapter 6 verse 12. For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth.
The words were smoother than butter, the war was in their heart. So read that again.
Micah chapter 6 verse 12. For the rich men thereof are full of violence.
This is society. All right. So the top banking families, they are the rich men. Okay. They own the IMF. They own the World Bank. They own all of these things. Okay. And that's why they're the ones pushing. They control the Fed. They are the Fed. All right. They're the ones who do all of these things, man. Your Congress does not really have anything. Go ahead.
And the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies.
How do you think they instituted the Federal Reserve? It was on a big ass lie. And then they said, let us call, Apostle Paul mentions it all the time. He said, let us call it Federal Reserve because that sounds governmental. It doesn't sound private at all. And then they tricked Congress, deceived them into having it issued. And then they're like, yo, this is a whole scheme. They actually got together and then Jekyll Island, okay, and there was this train. There was a train that came, I think it was you get on the regular part, but there was a special last part in the end where nobody could go to. And they had completely different names. All right. And if you found out anything, it's over for you. You were done. Shot and killed, thrown somewhere, never to be seen again.
They had names, they had regular names, like regular people. So on the list, you've seen it, and you're like, Carpenter. No, not even that. They were using some funny ass names. Like I remember Adam Weishaupt used to have a code name called I forgot the name, man. Shit, I hate when this happens. But he had a funny ass name, and it's a name that we kind of use even till today. It'll come to me, but if it does, I'll say it. And then they use these code names that they go around talking with each other, so it's hidden. So even if you're listening to it on the phone, you're not making the connections, and that's why they get so upset when we use our Hebrew names, because they don't know what, this guy has a governmental name that goes like this, but then they refer to him as this. Like, who is he? And he's a
Because you can't type in but that's why they got IUIC in them. They got their Hebrew names quote unquote registered.
Right.
Change. If you type in Aharon, what you gonna pull up? They're not the only thing they're probably gonna give you is a YouTube page. It ain't gonna pull up your social because now they gotta cross reference it, facial recognition, find out okay who is this? Okay, then this is his government and this is who he is.
But even with that, that's scary because they're thinking, how the hell did they get a Hebrew name? But where did it come from? And you notice a lot of our names, it fits our spirit. So you start wondering, that's his, like, what the fuck? You know, they're confused, man. They're like, that's why when the FBI dude came to the crib, he was asking, he was like, do y'all have any like code names, like names that y'all use? Like, nigga, what the fuck kind of question is that? What does that matter to you? Aren't you here to investigate a crime that happened in Jersey?
I don't know the man.
We don't know the nigga. Why the fuck are you coming out here? Like, it's like seeing a fight happening down the block, and then you in your crib, and then somebody's asking you, hey, do you know those guys? Do you know anything about it? Like, you're talking to me, you're assuming like it's already like I'm asking you questions based on like what can you give me about that? Nigga, I'm witnessing just like you.
I was in LA on Tuesday night, and the fight was going on here. Yeah. How the hell am I supposed to know what's going on there? So you sure you don't know that? Not even the jeans, the kind of jeans. Nigga, I was in LA, bro. How the hell,
bro? The news, we heard the news when it was breaking. We heard it with just like everybody else.
We did videos on it.
Yes.
Indefinite.
You know what I'm saying? These devils were so fucking funny, bro. But anyway, go back to Psalm 64 real quick.
Right? Because when they came there, they knew that this was stupid anyway. Exactly. But they're like, we got to report back with something, you know? So Psalm 64 and verse 6. It says, they search out iniquities. Wait, Salaki, did you finish on yours?
Yeah.
The inhabitants, the rich men, violence? Okay. Psalm 64 and 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Boom. Now, when you go into the NIV translation of that verse, it says, they plot injustice and say, we have devised a perfect plan. Surely the human mind and heart are cunning. So when we go back to what we were reading earlier, what do they say? They mention a plan, right? It says, it will be then, it says, it will then be for others to lock down, okay, as part of Calergy and the WEF Schwab plan, which is the plan of what? The global reset, Agenda 21.
And what does Schwab want? He wants to put marks in you.
Shit.
Yeah, he said it. He said it.
Right.
And he wants to take everything. And they said what? You will own nothing and you will be happy. Nigga, no, I won't. What you mean I'm gonna be happy? You own everything.
See, you don't even own yourself. And when they say nothing, they mean it.
You don't even own your feelings. Yeah. Because now they telling you you're gonna be happy.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
This damn devil. He gonna program you. You upset, but he make you happy by force. You smiling and shit. I'm angry. But I don't know why I smile. Damn devil.
It says, yeah, so let's jump down. It says, there you go. It says, whilst we know that there will be a resistance to this, we must ensure that any and all resistance is kept to an absolute minimum. And this applies at all stratus of society, from the ordinary man and woman in the street to MPs, which is minister, some MPs, member of parliament. There you go, the water. Members of parliament and lords. It says, whilst over 70% support our actions, which is why you have over 70% of people who got the vaccine, right? Because they fell for it, 2/3. It kind of makes sense. You know? It says, whilst over 70% support our actions, thanks to modifications from YouGov, we have a hardcore group of vehement so-called pro-freedom. They call it so-called pro-freedom. That's the world we're living in. Pro-freedom.
I'm sorry. Are we not supposed to be pro-freedom? Man, but they want you to think that being free is bad.
It's a bad thing.
Yeah, because that's why they condition you to always do what you're told. Don't question things. Don't be a free thinker. That's bad. Free thinkers are dangerous.
They're radicals. That's what they label it. You know, it says freedom, pro-freedom people who are determined to suffer. I guess it says scupper us at any opportunity. It says the launch of the new GB News channel has only added fuel to this fire. Therefore, my plan is for us to apply as much pressure on social media companies in the UK to commence the following procedures immediately in order to protect us and what we are doing.
Now there's a report, SPARS. The brother GMS Austere Man posted it one time. It was called the SPARS pandemic, and it was published back in 2017 by John Hopkins, the same people who were reporting everything during the pandemic. And it was basically the same thing that we went through, but they had published it in 2017. And I read the whole thing. And one of the main things was, in the article, it was a simulation of, okay, what could we have done better? What should we do? Where should we focus on? And what happens if we don't? And one of the main things was social media, the information, controlling that. And they said that's where they failed in the simulation, and that's why things didn't turn out too well. So it makes sense that you're saying that they want to control that.
It says these are the things that they're going to be doing: block/ban/delete any and all posts and users which go against scientific consensus.
And who started that? Facebook. They're talking about extremists blocking these content. Yeah, I probably got a new one. But yeah, they're blocking this content, and man, just wait. YouTube is they're about to go do a whole purge, man. And next thing you know, you wake up one day, you looking on your feed, and you ain't seeing shit but freaking kitty videos and niggas playing Fortnite and shit. And you searching, and you looking at a subscription, and you're gonna see the pages. When you click it, this page is no longer available. Okay, this page is no longer available. You checking everything, ain't shit there. Next thing you know, you get an email, your page is no longer available. Now what? If everybody's page just went, apostles, all the apostles, all the brothers, all the elders, then what? Where how are you gonna find out where brothers at?
I was gonna say, like the beginning of last year, where they shut down YouTube for a couple of days. When I came back on the YouTube, this was like I just found out about GMS at that time, and I was following a couple of brothers that I was watching over a few months, and I was just like really getting into it. I remember commenting on one of the brothers' pages like, "Yo, what should I be doing?" And he actually made a video answering me and all of that. So I'm like, I'm really invested. And then that week where YouTube was going under maintenance and they don't know what was going on, blah, 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 I came back and the brothers that I was following was gone. And I didn't know GMS, like to look up GMS, so I couldn't find anybody. So I was like, man, I'm just looking at random brothers now. I'm like, it didn't feel like, but the Lord led me back to where I was supposed to be anyway. It's just exactly what you're saying. If things shut down again, I'm expecting that same exact thing.
So what's going to happen? That's when the questions are going to be in abundance. And then Amos 8 and 11, they're going to be running. They're going to be looking. And guess what? We still going to come out and teach until they come out and say, nah, you can't do that. And that's why they got those snitch programs. And then now they got the extremists, this, that, and the third. So look, man, the Most High is orchestrating it. And when the Most High says there's a famine of his word, it doesn't mean I can't find it on YouTube, so I'm going to go find them in person. It means that they're not in person, they're not on YouTube, they're nowhere to be found. Right? And the Most High could do that by them arresting us, them persecuting us, whatever it may be. But overall, we know it's Yahweh Hashem Yahushai taking his word and hiding it. Because if you arrest us, guess what? The word is still with us. The word is wherever we go. It's within us. You got to get the word. Right now, the word is here. And it's on the YouTube. But when the YouTube is not there, where's the word? It's still here. And unless we speak it, you ain't never going to get it. Exactly. And I learned that the hard way when I first came into the truth. Certain questions, certain breakdowns, I would go and look on Google and I wouldn't see shit. And then I realized, the only way to actually get this is to find videos of brothers breaking it down. Or else there's literally no hope of me getting it.
Because this is all spiritual. It's the words of the Most High. And if he doesn't ordain somebody to speak it, it's not going to be spoken. It's not going. You think the Lord going to give his word to Esau through Google? Yeah, Google got all the answers, but they ain't got the answers of the Lord. They're not the Most High. It says, the next step, it says, for websites to restrict/deny access to the above group, meaning those who who might be against that consensus, the pro-freedom people.
Deny access.
Deny
You
access.
know what? Because they're gonna say, well, how do people gather to do these lockdown protests? They gathered off of Facebook.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and remember, they came to this lady's house and arrested her.
Yep.
And they said because she was a part of a Facebook group that was conspiring for that,
inciting insurrection and all that.
Mm-hmm.
No. It says above the group the above group, including cancellation of any accounts. So we're talking bank accounts. We're talking your phone bill accounts. All right. Basically, your things that you do for every day-to-day life essentials. All right. If you don't have a bank account, it's very hard to go around and do stuff, because sometimes you might have the money, but it will say if you don't have it on like a credit or anything, we can't give you this. You can't make this purchase.
Yeah.
So somehow you gotta have credit. You gotta build your credit and so on and so forth. Like if you want to get a house, an apartment or whatever, you could have physical cash right there. They're not gonna take it. They'll say, yo, no, we need to have you on record. We need to show that you could prove that you can pay this stuff.
Yeah, you gotta have a consistent
exactly.
income coming in that we can trace.
Right. So if they shut that account down, how do you prove that, oh, I can do this and I can do this and I can do that? Yeah, I physically have the money, so I should be able to buy this stuff. But no, Esau doesn't play that. You see, that's a form of control. He wants to. There you go. There you go. Right. So you got to play ball, or you ain't gonna be in the game. It says for anti-lockdown people and their group leaders to have their
group
leaders
to
have their details forwarded to the police and be arrested for inciting hatred, violence, and civil disobedience. A provision for this already falls under the Coronavirus Act 2020. So they already have an act for that.
There you go.
So
it's all on the books. It's just a matter of the perfect reason to bring it out.
Sure.
Like you get a nice ass outfit and you wait for the perfect occasion so you can bust it out. The sneakers and the outfit even the slightest occasion you bust out already. You're like, yeah, that's the most. We just go into the store.
And there'll be the times where it's so scarce, like ain't shit happening. You be like, yeah, I got all this stuff in there.
Exactly.
But the moment you ain't got shit, everyone want to go out. You're like, damn, my
you got 5 chains on your neck. You're talking about 2 chains. You got 5 chains. You know what I'm saying? The jeans and shit. Nice fresh kicks. Nigga, the store is 5 minutes away. We just getting some water inside. Flexing in the store and shit. Yeah, you got I can get that water right there. How much is that? All right.
Oh, I gotta get my wallet. Take the over chains.
Take over the chains to get your wallet from your pocket. It's like, that's the brand right there. I got that last week.
Somebody compliment you and you give it a whole history. Like, yo, I like those sneakers. Oh yeah, bro, I got these from and then you start going like, yo, bro, relax. I just said it's nice.
They're manufacturing it. Now you notice the soles, they got a little dot right there. That really goes back to the 1980s. Hey, but
man. Well, consider, it says, for any parent/guardian who openly states that they or their family will not be vaccinated, to have their child/elderly relative removed permanently from home, and or from them to be removed from the property regardless of ownership deed entitlements.
So they either taking away your kids or they taking your ass to a nice warm bunker. Hey, remember the video? It was like a 40-second video of the dude that was saying it. He was I think the title was warning, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And he was saying, if you refuse this, they're gonna tell you can either take this, or on your right is a nice bus to a nice warm bunker waiting for you.
That was one of the higher ups was saying he had a suit and tie and everything. And he was saying that he was Edomite.
Yo, man, that time is coming, man. Yep. Revelation 2:10. Yep. They will look, man. It's gonna happen, and it's not gonna happen to just us. Don't get it twisted. You're gonna have a lot of everyday regular people that are gonna be going through it, and we're gonna see it on social media. Yo, they're taking my mom. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Mommy, they're taking her out the house. What are you doing? This is my house, private property. Shut up. You know, somebody might bring out a gun and pow, shoot the kid and everything.
Hey, there was a video. I think that was the one I sent you, Mo.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it though. But...
Yeah, there was this couple. There was this actually an old ass woman, bro. I think this was in Australia. Man, they're being draconian as shit over there, man.
Yeah.
Yo, this lady's out here talking outside in the public, and they said, why don't you have a mask on your face? Why are you talking? Why are you resisting? She's like, yo, I'm just living my life. What's the problem? I'm by myself outside. There's no one around me. There's no one here. Do you see anyone here? And they grabbed her up. They're like, yo, they try to put her in the car and shit. And the kind of car that they had was the ones that is like a truck, but it's like a van, and then you could open the back, and then that's where they be putting dogs and shit.
Oh yeah,
Like a dog carrier shit.
When the dog catcher's trying to get a loose
And
dog.
that kind of shit. And she's like she's like putting her foot on the thing, and they putting her hand behind her. That's an old woman, and she's like, "Stop! What are you guys doing? What are you doing?" And it's like Centaurians were around her, like overpowering her, and they didn't even say a word to her. Like, you're not human. Why the fuck are we gonna talk to you? Like, you thought? No, she was. I think she looked like Edom. Yeah.
Oh, you remember Jade Helm 2015? What they did to that old lady
when they just came to
They
attack
came
her.
in her. They put her on the floor and shit.
Yep.
She talking about
Yep.
they
They broke her arm and yeah, that's what they do. And they're showing you. It's so crazy, bro. And I'm watching this shit like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, they grab this lady, overpower, like, yo, bitch, stop. You doing too much right now. Grab her and toss her in the shit, just like that. And then they close it like it's nothing. They didn't even say anything. They didn't even look at her. It's like an animal. Grabbed it, tossed it in there, locked it, and then moved on to the next guy. And the man was like, yo, she didn't even do anything. Chill out. You're under arrest. He's like, what the fuck did I do? And they grabbed him up. He fucking hit him right in the face. And there's another lady in the back. She was like, whoa, what are you doing? She was just talking her shit, recording this shit. And they grabbed the man. She's like, stop resisting. I have it on camera. Don't worry. I got you. They wasn't listening to that shit. They don't give a fuck if you're recording or not. Nigga, they're on the job doing a mission. So they grabbed the man, put his hands behind his back, fucking tripped his shit, put him down, boom, face first. He's on the floor like, oh shit. Now he knew, oh shit, it's over now. Grabbed his ass. He's also arrested.
But wait, she's recording. What platform she gonna put it on if they gonna let her upload it?
It gets better. Guess what? So she's recording, do her own thing. She's like, yeah, he didn't even do it. You're arrested. Boom, grab her ass.
Hey, I got that.
She's like, wait, I didn't even do it. Nigga, get the camera down, grab her ass, put her in the shit, took them all in.
Oh, that one right here. Isaiah 13:15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So soon they might not even take you in. They just might shoot your ass. Public executions are coming, man.
Yes, man. It's gonna be like nothing. You're gonna see it. Yo, you're gonna see it, and that's all judgment from the Lord. And people are gonna sit back and be like, oh my gosh, she didn't deserve that. You know what kind of fuck shit she must have done to the Most High for the Most High to put her ass to death like that? You see, you guys gotta think about the judgments. We bring out the scriptures. We talk about the laws, the statutes, the commandments. You be forgetting about the judgments that comes with it. Don't the scriptures talk about judgments too? How come we're the only ones who always want to be objective and look at shit and say, all right, this motherfucker got this coming to him and this and so on and so forth. What did he do to deserve that? Why is everybody all up in arms like, oh my God, they're doing this, and they're always blaming someone? How about you step back? They're in their feelings. You're not being objective, man. And the Most High is objective. It's all about truth. Okay? And if you ain't living by the ways of the Lord, pain and suffering is coming to you. And like it tells you in Proverbs, the 1st chapter, the Most High is going to be laughing at your calamities, man. No one's going to be feeling bad for anybody anymore because you're not going to have the time or the feelings to empathize with anyone because guess what? You in the same shit too. All right? It is every man for himself. I comes before you. Even in the alphabets, they get I comes before you. And that time is coming where every man is going to seek to save his own life. Okay? And especially the women and the children, those who run their mouth and talk all this shit, you can see the vibration changing now. Now you got women talking and complaining about how they can't find good men. And the women who push feminism are ruining it for the men, the women who don't want that. Well, guess what? You reaping the benefits of feminism anyway, because you're the same one who's gonna say, "Oh, I need a real man." But when it comes time for a man to put you in check, you're gonna bitch up and complain and say some shit.
You know one thing too. When all hell breaks loose, actually having a woman can be a liability because you now have to remember. If I was with like you, right? We can both take care of each other, right? If anything, you can stand next to him because I know he got the rain thing, but you don't. Yeah, if it gets bad, it gets okay
right now.
All right. And it will become a liability because if you run in, you gotta slow down and make sure that she's good. Right. You know, if anything, you gotta hunt for two. She can't hunt for herself. You gotta protect her and you. If there's a crowd, you can't really let's say fight them without constantly keeping. I gotta keep. Yeah, are they coming out? You know, so that becomes a liability, and a lot of men are not gonna want to have to deal with that. So why should I? Because they're thinking, well, what's the benefit of having a woman with me? Well, I can get some box. So now in a lot of these men's minds, why should I carry her with me every time when I can just rape her and then I can just keep on going solo? Right. And then if I need another pit stop, I'm gonna find another one. You know, because in that time, Yo, let me tell you something, man. Like they told Uncle Ruckus, you ain't too fat and ugly to get raped. They go, look, man. They show you that in that time, she could be like a whole pole. She could be flat as a pole, flat as a sheet of paper.
Yes.
As long as she got legs and hair and she moves, they getting that.
Yo, people do that till today. You be sitting there like, why are you being attracted to that? You got mad, like, pretty women out there. You want to hit that? Why? So imagine when the time gets desperate.
She moves.
She moves. Anything that walks, that moves. Hey, and you know what's funny? I did a video too on Maslow's hierarchy. And you mentioned about how, you know, men are going to be like, oh, man, I need her for box. Guess what? Right now, society is in a state of everyone has been rendered to live on basic needs. You don't have the luxury to be looking for box. Right now, you're thinking about the next meal. When you're in the state of thinking about the next meal, you're not in the state of thinking about box, because box is a thing that comes after. So you get your basic needs, which is food, shelter, and so on and so forth. And then you look for the next thing, which is what? A family, you know, friendships and shit like that. That's where you get the women and stuff. You see, because when the Most High was creating, notice creation, he did everything. Then he put the woman in there. You see, he gave Adam everything, and then he said, here, you can have a woman after that. He didn't say, all right, the woman is going to come in the midst of me giving you all these things. You know, that's not the basic understanding of survival. You see, so in the times that we're in now, pushing to the next time, the next few weeks, next few months, going into Jacob's trouble, men, women, children, no one is going to be thinking about sex. All right, you're going to be thinking about, how do I survive? I need food. I need protection.
Well, if you're in your right mind,
you're
going to have those. Hey, trust and believe. You got those that literally, you have creeps. You have creeps that sit at home and target women. All right. And they're like, man, the second I get my head, like they're obsessed. They're like, and they know where you live. Don't get it twisted. You might have that nigga with his hoodie on, and he got his hands in his pocket. You walk by, and you don't see him, and he turns around slowly, and he just, yeah, trust me, man, a lot of you women out there, there's people like that you don't know about, because you're so oblivious. Yes. You telling me this? Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Guess what? That nigga knows where you live.
A lot of these guys on your social media, they're always consistent. Every time you post a picture, they're the first to like.
Before the picture gets uploaded, it just says 1 like. Nigga got 5 comments.
Yes.
Oh, hey, beautiful. You're so pretty.
Yes.
Send me few pics.
Yes.
I'll pay for your trip.
Yes,
I'll pay your bills. You can sit on my face.
Yes.
These guys are finished, man.
They're doing all that because they're telling you, and then now what they do is they got the location setting on. A female posts a picture and they'll tell you underneath the picture
where she at.
Guess what, bro? Niggas is already planning for you. So when the time comes, they know where females gonna normally be at. Because guess what? There's a lot of things gonna be shut down. So it's not that many places that a female could be at, except for this main place. And guess what? There's not gonna be cops in the streets that keeps you being a bitch. Because guess what? It's the cops that's there that makes you have that power to talk shit to people. Because you know if anything happens, he's gonna get arrested. Yes. Now they're defunding the police. They've been pushing that energy on TV, talking about what? A violent summer. What do you think that means? And when there's violence, what happens? Women get hurt. Women get killed. Women get destroyed. You see?
The booty.
You become the booty. You didn't think of that? Yeah. A lot of Fleece Johnson's gonna be coming out here. They've been letting niggas out from prison talking about COVID and all this shit. And they out. They're out like freaking dogs.
And you know they've been deprived.
They've been deprived.
So they come out, your butt is mine. They're coming for your butt, man. And they're not playing. And I mean, they're coming viciously.
Yeah, and hey, especially now, hey, the elder Yashua did a video a couple of years ago. He said, man, a lot of these sodomites are coming out of jail, man. You got linebackers, you got dudes that run 22 miles an hour coming after you, Usain Bolt type speed, and they're coming for men. They're coming for women just like, no, they're looking for the men. Because they got demons on them that coming out
right past the woman.
Yeah.
For the
You see?
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So you got dudes out here, men think they safe. Scripture say a man's gonna have his hands on his loins and he's gonna be pale faced. Like there's gonna be pain and calamity coming to this place. But yet people are not even putting themselves ready for that. You're not paying attention to that. You see, you worried about Juneteenth. You worried about little shit.
July 4th.
July 4th.
Shit, don't get started on that.
You wanna say something, brother?
Yeah, there was this show or movie on Netflix, I can't remember the name, but there was this woman and her son and daughter that was hiding in the library, and then they were right next to a prison, and then the prisoners escaped because the guards let them go, and then they told the lady that her and her daughter could go, just leave the boy.
Wow. See, you see, but, oh my goodness, but that's a vibration. You see, now remember this too. That's a beautiful point that the brother just made, because Right now, the vibration of the earth is so wicked. They're normalizing that pedophilia. They're normalizing that sodomite energy.
Sodom and Gomorrah. What did they say? He said, "I'm gonna give you my daughters." They said, "No, we want the angels. We want the men."
You see, that's the time that we're in now. You see, so guess what? Now that is the vibration, the Lord is gonna put it on the all-time high. So there are things that are gonna be like, yo, how the fuck did they allow this to happen? It's because that's the time, that's the frame, that's the spirit on the earth at that time. Just like how when righteousness hits, it's gonna be a time of righteousness, exclusively righteous. There'll be no wickedness. That's why Esau gonna be in trouble. You see, because he is the wicked. So every single day you're gonna get your ass whooped. Because naturally you can't keep righteousness. You see? You wanna say something?
Yeah, I have this friend. She lives in Germany, and she said in her country they just banned people. They banned people from wearing like hijabs and stuff at work, certain jobs. And she was like, she disagrees with it. So they had like a whole little march and stuff. And she was actually doing like a little speech. And I saw that, and I told her, I'm like, be careful. There's people out there watching you. She's a woman. I'm like, there's a dude that don't agree with you that's like probably watching you like, I'm gonna catch her when she walking alone in the streets one day. Especially these women, there's some dude out there looking for you. So I told her that. I said, yo, be careful with like what you're doing, and she hit me up next day, which is today. She hit me up today, like, yo, I just was thinking about what you said. It kind of scared me. Like, I'm like, yeah, because the day before she was like, I think I'll be fine. My neighborhood is like small. It's not that many of us. And then she hit me up today, like, yo, I was thinking about it. And yeah, you on camera, you on Instagram, you here, you there, you doing a speech in the middle of the street. And it's, the times right now, there's a divide between everyone. It's only going to get worse. So
who's gonna protect you in that day? Now, you remember there was a story of that lady who was jogging, I think it was in Central Park or somewhere. She was jogging at night by herself. And she ended up getting killed. Somewhere it was. Dude killed her ass. Now, at that, first off, what business you got jogging in the middle of the night by yourself? For what? And then at that point, she was looking for a man. I'm sure she was looking for a man.
It was the woods too.
In the woods. What? Please tell me, you see what I mean?
That's that freedom shit.
That's that freedom shit. Yeah.
That's that overly over much
liberty. She's destroying herself.
So let's go back to the article and then songs. You stick to that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, bring that back real quick.
I had a quick precept. Yeah, I'll go back. 64. Okay. This is Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame.
Right. The unjust knoweth no shame. That's why they do the most unjust shit. Look what's happening with Lil Nas X. You see, all this abominable stuff that they do, and yet nobody can say anything about it. And that's why the Lord got the spirit on certain people, certain men, even in the world, who are calling these people out and saying, look, this is bad behavior. Why are we allowing this type of stuff to happen? You see, just because you're in a so-called group and so on and so forth doesn't allow you to do this type of dumb shit. And he's right. You see, and when he started coming out, that guy, Kwame Brown, when he started coming out talking his shit, I said, through the spirit, I said, hey, the Most High is rising up Jake, man. He's putting that spirit of consciousness, like, yo, what you're saying doesn't make sense. And guess what? People in the media are saying, man, we scared to talk now because this guy's on our ass. Well, why are you scared? What is it that you're saying that you're scared to say? You know why? Because they don't want to put their foot in their mouth because they know people are watching. People are finally waking up and seeing, oh, this is a bullshit you guys keep doing with the media. You're lying to us. You're making up stories, and then you label it with my sources say. What sources? You never hear sources, man. They say the sources say this. Just like they say, trust the science. You come to find out who's the science, fucking Fauci. That's the science. Ricky Tiki Fauci, bro. That's the science, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? This is the world we're living in?
The squirrel ass.
This squirrel little nigga
popping his head out. You know what are them things that they pop out them little holes? They got the mole rats or some shit.
Oh, I forgot the name of it.
They got a game for you.
Badgers?
Huh?
Badgers?
No, it's different. I think it's a mole rat. Where they even got a game. They be popping their heads up.
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole. That shit. Somebody needs to whack that nigga, Every Tuesday. First off, you don't hear the dude. He disappears for a minute, and then a little bit later, he just pops his head out again. So what do you think we should do? Should we put the mask on? And he never gives you a straight answer. according to the signs and the CDC guidelines, we should do this, but then again, you should. And these dumbass news anchors never ask for a specific question. If you ask the nigga 1 + 1 and he tells you that America was founded in 1698, oh, okay, thank you. We'll see you next week.
Right.
That's all they do.
That's it. They're not answering questions. Like Biden, they ask him a question. Well,
This nigga creep ass.
yeah, but 3 billion.
What kind of creep? He starts whispering and shit. Like you said, look, man, nobody's safer on this. Not kids, not boys, not women. None of that, man. This dude will harass you and publicize it like it's all good. And people will justify it. Oh, he's just playing with her. He was fondling her in public. What do you mean he's playing with her?
Hey, news came out this morning that Kamala is being sabotaged. That's what they say. I'm like, sabotage? Why would you get sabotaged? What's going on? Apparently, the people that she works with in the White House feel abused. She's abusing people. She's saying a whole bunch. They feel unsafe working there. So a lot of them are feeling some type of way about her. And I'm like, are you surprised? You got this piece of shit that they call a vice president, and she's the what has she done? They put her on blast and ask her questions. Well, are you gonna go to the border? We've been to the border. We're gonna go to the border. We are going to the border. And then
Which one is it?
Which one is it? Have you been to the border? I said we're gonna go to the border. We've been to the border. We're about to go to the border. We've been there. I think. I know. I allegedly think.
But wait, she the same one who said we welcome any of them because they're going through whatever they're going through.
Right.
Then she turns around and says, "Don't come.
Right.
Please don't come." Then Trump says,
I'm gonna come.
"I'm gonna come." You know, but it shows you the hypocrisy. You turn around 1 second and say everybody's welcome. Then you turn around and say, "Please don't come."
Yep. That's like the scripture says. It says what? Their words were smoother than butter, but war was in their heart. And it also says what? Never trust thine enemy, man. You see? Because they say all these sweet things, these promises and shit. I gave her $1.9 trillion.
Creep ass, man.
Where did the $1.9 trillion go? Because these people ain't go back to work. They're still at home.
I think it's time for
Tax break.
creep, man. That dude is a full-on creep, man. Hilarious, mentally deranged. Man, that dude got issues, man.
How is he president?
Yeah, they took him from one of the vilest of the vilest creatures, and then they put a suit on him and threw him up there, man.
My mom said it yesterday. She said, man, Biden, I don't know how she said, I feel like they literally took him and put him in president. Like they grabbed him and said, yo, here, boom, boom. You sit right here, you be president. Yeah. Yo, but anyway, going back to Psalm 64, all right, the translation, it says what? Verse 6, they plot injustice and say, we have devised a perfect plan. Surely the human mind and heart are cunning. So that's what they do, and it goes back to that agenda that we talked about, that the COVID-19 global reset agenda. Okay, that so-called ultimately new world order that they have on the dollar bill. Okay, going back to the tried and true motto, Annuet Coeptis, which means what? He has the Most High has blessed our enterprise, basically, roughly paraphrased way, right? So what enterprise are they talking about? And when you look into the word enterprise, it means let me do it right now. I'm just slipping my mind. All right.
Micah 2:1. Yep. They devising iniquity upon their back. You know?
An
And that's
enterprise.
exactly what they do.
Yep. An enterprise, it says undertaking. That's literally what they say. That the Most High has blessed our undertaking. You see? So their enterprise is their undertaking, which is ultimately their new world order. And they believe that the Most High is with it. But they don't say Most High, they say God. What God are they talking about? The God of this world, which is Satan. Okay? That's why he was able to present that world to Yahushua and say, if you bow down before me, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the earth.
Get that. It's a Psalm 50:19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth mischief, or slakia, frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, and that's us. It says, now, and this is talking about Esau, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Another thing I'll say is the scriptures have used various forms of what's called hendiatrus, all right, which that Edomite scholar was talking about. And a hendiatrus is basically when I think it's 3 in 1, where you say one thing 3 times, but they all mean the same thing. And oftentimes the scriptures will sound like that. It'll say my mighty ones, even the kings of the earth,
Right.
even the children
Right,
of Israel.
right.
All, and you might say, well, the mighty ones, you may think of it as 3 separate, but no, it's 3 in 1. That's a hendiatrus. sometimes the scriptures will repeat the same thing twice, said in different ways. So, like right here, it says, "Thou speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son." To speak against is like slandering. So that's saying the same thing. And your brother is your mother's son. So it's the same thing, just said over again. So you notice the scriptures have a lot of reiteration in there because the Lord wants it to be known what I'm talking about. Emphasis. See is what understanding. That's right. See. So it says, here's one more verse. It says, verse 21, "These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes."
Right. So they think that the Most High is in league with them. The Most High is actually supporting what they do. You see? Oh, well, if we're doing this. No. Did you know, scriptures say what? The deceiver and the deceiver are his. So you have a plan, but it's a plan of the Most High.
Right.
See, it's in your mind thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to destroy the world and reconstruct it and make it into my world, how we want it to be, transhumanism and all this stuff. No, you're deconstructing the world, put it at its basis form, just like you're the basis of men. So the Lord wants you to create a world that represents you. You see? And then after that, he's going to destroy it. And then he's going to set up a new kingdom that's going to represent him, which is perfection, righteousness. And then you're going to see the difference. And then all this stuff that's happening, I had a friend who asked me, yo, so why God going to open up the world for people who are wicked? So they could run the world and just be wicked? What the fuck is the point of that? I said, well, the point is not for you. It's for the elect. So they could see how not to rule, how not to be. If you do this, this what happens. You see, the world is in the condition it's in now because of this, because of this, because of that. Now, I gave you laws. If you were to follow those laws, this will be the end result, and that's going to be the kingdom. Because of the kingdom, we're going to be made perfect. You see, the scriptures say that the Lord is going to put the laws in our inward parts. Now, if the laws are in our inward parts, meaning what? It's who we are. You see, like just like how you wake up and you walk, it's innate. You eat, it's innate. You don't think about that. You just do it. You see, it's a natural thing. When you get excited next to a woman that's beautiful, guess what happens? Your penis gets hard, and then she gets turned on, and then you guys get into it. That's innate.
Even fear. Right? Fear is innate. Now, there's certain things that your body is naturally programmed to fear. Like death. Right. So in the kingdom, that feeling that we get for things like death and stuff, we'll get that, or the feeling of not wanting to do it. Right. With things that go off in the scriptures, innately. It'll be impossible for you to look at another man's wife and think anything but like as a sister, if she's an Israelite. It'll be impossible. Right. Like if you look at your mother, right? You can't. You can't. Yeah, exactly. You can't get
got
that.
sick people who actually do stuff like that.
They got demons on them.
Esau,
Yeah, that's sick demon. Yeah. R. Kelly's wicked ass saying some shit like that too. Talking about he wanted to kiss his mom on the lips with her lipstick and shit. She would drink from a cup, and he would want to drink from that same spot. Telling his mom he wants to marry her, and crying when she said no. He's a sick demon in himself.
I think there's a diagnosis for that. I forgot what it was, but Esau has a scientific reasoning for that type of shit. It's demons. They say, oh no, it's this, it's that. They're diagnosed with mental this and mental
because
that.
They always want to categorize everything. Yep. But themselves. Categorize everything but themselves.
All right. So let's go back to the article real quick. All right, because it got a lot more stuff in here that, once again, we just exposing the secret counsel of the wicked. It says, so we went past the part where they're gonna start removing people permanently from their homes. Right. And I remember last year they were saying if you have a household of more than 4 people,
one bathroom,
one bathroom, or you have 4 or more people sharing more than one toilet, that's too many people in the house. You can't social distance. You gotta get out of the house. We gotta find ways to put people in different places of the place now. Let's read. It says, a copy of these proposals titled Combating COVID Disinformation 2021 has already been sent to Nick Clegg, Facebook, Jack Dorsey, Twitter, and Susan Wojcicki, YouTube, and Sundar Pichai, Google Alphabet. Also, I understand that the Prime Minister is going to push for stronger action in this regard against the anti-lockdown movement, including deploying the army and for every street in the United Kingdom to be strictly and rigorously policed during the forthcoming July lockdown. All right.
Now we're gonna have to wait and see. Yes, sir. What they're gonna come out and say. We got a July 4th special for you. Yes, sir. You know, and that's the Most High finally closing this thing down. We pray that they do exactly that. You know, and regardless of how they come out and say it, this is giving you the raw, the skinny of it, but they're gonna give you the sugar-coated version of it.
It says, I have also been updated by Cerso, who are to release, quote, stay-at-home bracelets, Songbird, stay-at-home bracelets, Songbird. You got to go see the movie Songbird,
Gotta
bro.
go see it, man.
Man, it says, which will act like electronic tags and will be made compulsory/mandatory for every household in the country with all residents, tenants, etc.
So see now, all right, you don't want to take the thing? You're gonna need to put that bracelet on. Hey, man, may Yahweh Shem Yahshai make that come to pass. And you know, once they do it over there, they're gonna adopt it worldwide, man. It's gonna come to the US, man. It's about time. I'm sick and tired of seeing these niggas out here, man. Every 2 seconds, there's somebody with their grandmother with a chair out with a fire hydrant on. You know what I'm saying? Some dumbass laying on the ground with a fire hydrant, and then they shut off the water in your house, and now you mad. Right. You know? Right. Here it is. It's late as hell, 2 a.m., and they playing loud ass music. Fireworks. Just you can't just stay home and just be a regular individual. So they're gonna need those bracelets to keep their ass home.
Yeah. Chain them up. It says being made to have both by law. So they're gonna make it a law that if you don't got this stuff, you cannot be out here, man. It's the law.
So if you're outside your house, they have the right to check you for that bracelet. They were doing that. They were saying, they were asking people, what are you doing outside? You know, and arresting you if you didn't have a good enough reason.
Yeah, fine.
Oh, yeah.
And women sit in the park. Why are you out here? I'm at the park. I'm pregnant. I mean, I can't be in the park. No, you out here for more than 2 minutes. You got to go inside. Arrest.
Oh, a brother put it on here. Seek understanding. He said the Oedipus complex is a child wanting to marry their parents.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. It goes back to
Oedipus.
Oedipus, yeah. That's a story, Oedipus Rex. You know, when you read
Is that the one where he ended up killing his father and then married his mom without even knowing?
That's what yeah. It's like a prophecy thing.
I think it was either that or Odysseus or something like that.
Yeah, it could be that too, yeah. You know? So going back, it says these bracelets will work with the new 5G technology and will notify the CCC, which is Central Command Center, if a person has ventured outside of their confined space, with punishments ranging from 50,000 pounds fine to a detainment in custody for an indefinite period. It's over. Woo! It says,
man shall desire to go, man.
Get it. Get that. Get it, second essence. Get that.
I must be allowed.
to bring this up. It says, the first batch of bracelets will be introduced in August in London, Birmingham, Nottingham, Cardiff, Belfast, Swansea, Manchester, Newcastle, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Liverpool, Leeds, Sheffield, Norwich, Cambridge, York, Exeter, and Carlisle, with second batches being introduced the following month and a third in November in order to reach outlying, all right, and hard to reach areas of the United Kingdom.
So you know they're gonna pick it up as it gets towards the winter. Yes, sir. You know, now I got this here, but just hit the point. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Yes, sir. So that's what's coming. And we're reading about it. You see, prophecies, you gonna label that conspiracy theories too? Continue, it says,
hey, it's gonna be a beautiful time, man. I got no problem staying home. I study, I do videos, I do what I gotta do. You know?
It says the whole of the United Kingdom is scheduled to have these bracelets on and activated no later than December 1st, 2021. December 1st, 2021. It says by getting people used to complying with this, we can break down any and all resistance to the new changes coming to the United Kingdom. However, we must always appear to be the friends of the people, quote, the friends of the people, and look as if we have their best interests at heart, so they do not think to counter They do not think counter to what we want them to do.
And you know what that means? That means that deem us the enemy, and you always have to set two sides and pit the public against the side that you don't want. And they want to say what we want. We don't want you to even have a second to think against that. So we're gonna demonize anybody that says anything to what we want, and then we're gonna tell you, hey, do this instead. And if you don't want to do what we say, you're a part of them. Remember 1984? The what do they call them? The thought criminals, but there was a name for them. Because you had the
Ministry of something that they used to come around, and they, like if you were rebellious or you had individual thought, you were a criminal, thought criminal.
They called them something. You're a Republicans or Republican, something like that.
I forgot what it's called.
But for them, they were called the company or like the organization or the media. Something. It was damn. I forgot. But you gotta watch that if you haven't seen the movie 1984, or you can read the book too.
They were actually talking about this last year with the Assembly bill for A4616. I don't know if y'all saw that. It was with Cuomo. They're giving governors the power to basically take people from their homes if they have suggested oh, you may have something, or you're a danger to society. They can take you out your home, or if you're at somebody else's home, if you're outside, you're in a group, and they feel like you're a danger, they could take you away to a facility.
They said the health secretary that they appoint, his word is basically final over anything you may say. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
See, but here's the thing. Yeah, because that's the thing. When they bring these things out, they don't act on it right away. So people forget. People think, oh, yes, this is done. No, they putting it. That's why they can come out and say, well, according to CTV Law 2020. Wait, hold on. When was that about? Oh, we did tell you, but remember, we didn't do shit then. But it's all on the books. Man, Lord is about to turn it up.
It says we must
quick,
get.
Brother is asking for the article.
Oh, send me the link, right? I'm gonna put the link in the chat so you can access it. Yeah.
It says we must get the media to push the line that as too many people, more than the R rate, have died. The message is to always stay at home, protect lives, and save the NHS. It says as well as being scientists, we also need to keep up our good profile with the media and be as savvy as we possibly can. With regards to new or extra variants, I would like to hear your opinions on the following prototypes. The capital variant, centered on London. It says, anti-lockdown protests and football fans attending Euro 2020 matches will be deemed responsible for a more aggressive variant which causes lung, heart, and kidney problems. This will mean locking London down effective Thursday, July 15th.
Which is okay in a couple weeks.
Yeah, let's see. About a week and a half. You know, that'll be on a Thursday. So the next coming Thursday will be July 8th, and then the week after will be July 15th. All right. Let's continue. It says the Dorset variant. So they got names, different names, like we said earlier, which is going to be centered in Bournemouth. It says people traveling to holiday in Bournemouth from London brought the central variant to the area, and this has mutated into a new variant, which means that the area must be locked down effective Monday, July 19th. So they're telling you how they're going to play it out. Once again, they're telling you the blueprint. But people are so stupid, they wouldn't see it for what it is. They'll call, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Oh, you guys are crazy. Oh, this will never happen. Nigga, you're living it. And they're going to get drastically worse. When the time comes, we're going to be laughing. Don't come to us. No. Oh, well, I mean, you guys know what you think about this? What should I be doing in this? Listen, bro, you should have been doing what we were telling you to do 2 years ago. 3 years ago. The time to be doing something has passed. Now you just got to react to what's happening. Whatever react, pray that the Most High give you good reactions.
I'm going to call the council you ass.
Yeah.
You don't got it.
All right. It says,
hey, imagine that. You can disappear inside and you just...
Man.
Oh,
it's about to get crazy out here, man. It says, the border variant centered on the England-Scotland border. It says, people traveling between the two countries have brought two different variants into the two countries, which are mixing and spreading, mutating with other variants. Yeah, of course. viruses always work this way. The science that they taught us in school, this is what viruses do, how they work. So let's just try to like understand logic based on what they taught us in school, right? The human body has an immune system that fights off, you know, various viruses and so on and so forth, bacteria and all that. So what they do is they take this vaccine, right, and it has dead pathogens or weakened pathogens of that virus. They inject it in you. Your body fights it. You know, you build up a tolerance or an immunity to it. So if and when you do get the actual thing, you're going to be able to fight it. That's the concept. That's the understanding that we know about viruses and immune systems. Fast forward to 2019, 2020, 2021, all of a sudden that logic is thrown out the way. They say there's a population, I think last time I checked, it was 3 billion people? 2 billion or 3 billion people have been vaccinated worldwide. Worldwide population of over 7.8 billion people, about, I think it was 300 million people actually got, actually passed away from what they said COVID, right? But yet they've vaccinated over almost 4 billion people to a virus that had claimed lives of about 300 million worldwide. That's a very small percentage. But the rest, I believe the cases was, man, it was like 800 million cases or something like that, some crazy number. It might be the billions. So we're taking a population of cases in the billions, we're taking deaths in the population, global population of just millions, and you're taking a vaccination population of billions. Those who got tested, those who went through the virus and so on and so forth, they should have built a tolerance. They should have built an immunity based on the science that we learned. Whether they took the vaccine or not, if you caught the real thing, you should be able to fight it and live and go through it. And then whatever variants come, if it's a variant, let's look up the word variant.
Okay. You might have to show how you got the article. I can't. It's not letting me put it up.
Oh, yeah? Okay, I got you.
But you know what's interesting? I just looked it up, right? And show you how much of a devil Esau is. It says here, they have, if you type in UK permanent lockdown memorandum, they got countless articles saying, oh, you know, the fact check, oh, the document is fake, oh, this is that, and this, that, and the third. But understand this. If you go on those and they say the document is fake, are you expecting to tell me that within the next few months, with these cases rising, they're not going to do that? It's fake, it's fake, it's fake until you're not. Now you're in lockdown. And now you're like, wait, hold on, what you mean? And then now they're bringing it because they did that already. In the previous lockdown, they were doing it in Japan, okay? They were having those bracelets in Israel, okay? So how is it fake?
Well, if it's fake, this is actually a thing that's written to people. We could give names. I'm going to give names. Fuck you guys. Look, it says to Dr. Frank Atherton, Dr. Michael McBridge, Dr. Susan Mickey, Dr. Gregor Smith, Dr. Richard Taylor, Sir Patrick Valens, Dr. Jonathan Van Tam, Chris Whitty. It says from Neil M. Ferguson.
Yeah,
that's a person.
No, they got it right here. They said this memo is, but you know what though? Let me just read it. It says this memo is dated June 14th, 2021, and is addressed to the UK government's chief medical officers and chief scientific advisor, among others. The sender is said to be British epidemiologist Neil Ferguson of Imperial College. It says on June 18th, in a June 18th statement on its website, Imperial College said the document was not written by Neil Ferguson. Quote unquote, this is totally untrue piece of disinformation, or this totally untrue piece of disinformation was constructed and spread by extremists and has no association with Imperial College London, the UK government, or scientific advisors, it said. Really? It says, now, when you have something like this that gets leaked about you, there's something called damage control. And that's why they have Snopes and all these websites, because Snopes will tell you a lot of the things we tell you which actually happened are false. But then you know that it's true, you know? So, I mean, it's obvious that if you were to certain topics, Google is set up, and because Google's a search engine, it's set up to where when you type in these things, they're not going to give you the actual answers. Like if you were to type in a definition in Google, you used to say, what is hyperinflation? They're going to tell you hyperinflation is a higher form of inflation. All right. If you go and type in hypocrisy. They'll tell you some shit like hypocrisy is an act of a hypocrite. You know, and then you got to go look up what's a hypocrite. You know, somebody that performs hypocrisy. That's stupid shit. That's what they do. You know, so be not surprised, because what we're saying right here, man, regardless of if it happens exactly as it is right there, that is an outline of what they're about to do upon the planet Earth very soon, man.
Yeah, I have a precept, and I also wanted to say, the Rockefeller Foundation, they had a bunch of papers of how they planned on rolling out the C-19. So nobody wanted to believe those or the simulation that Bill Gates supposedly had, and they rolled out what would happen if a virus did break out, and they acted out exactly how they said they would. So it'll be the same thing with this paper you're reading. And the precept is Jeremiah 15:2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity.
And if anything, because I'm not able to post the actual link to that, if anything, I'll put it in the description, or probably do a video on how to access it. You know, if anything, I'm just gonna put it. Yeah, see if it'll come up. You know, but hey, all in all, why do you think that there's a quote unquote new vet? Why do you think they're pushing this all over again? If they really succeeded in their purpose, what's the need to start the whole? This is a repeat of last year. This is an exact repeat of last year. Now they're saying Canada cases are going up, Africa cases are going up, UK cases are going up, France cases are going up. What are they all going up for? The same variant, Delta variant. You know, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and it's there, and it's here. You know, that's how these devils are operating, man. So we already know that they're getting ready to do another lockdown. Now they're saying that they don't want to have to do this. You know, we should, and now that's where the push comes in. We don't want to have to go into another lockdown. So people, you have to go and do what you got to do. You know, and what's that? Well, you got to go get that bite. You know, that's what they're trying to push. And then they're going to start targeting people, the resistance, and labeling them, just like we just read, extremists.
Hey, look, they're about to make life uncomfortable for those who don't comply. Once again, out there in Europe, they're already saying, if you're not vaccinated, there's going to be a section for you. You can travel, but you got to provide a negative test, regardless. Every single where you go, you got to provide a negative test, PCR or rapid. It doesn't matter. Got to be negative. Also, you're going to pay more in ticket prices. Why? Because you're at risk. So we got to charge you more just in case your ass come in here and you get everybody who's been vaccinated and to be protected from people like you, right? So they got the jab or the bite to protect them from a virus, and you are the walking virus walking around that people need to be protected from you. So we're going to charge you. You can get on the plane. That's all right. But we'll harass you. We'll make you feel some type of way. You know, that's human natural thing. Like, we don't like to be ousted. People don't like to feel out of place. Like, oh man, there people looking at me funny. Damn, nobody likes that. That's why people be on the
outcast.
Yes, you be on a train, everybody chilling, everybody got their head down, mad awkward and shit. When you see people actually interacting, it's like the whole thing. Like, you just want to sit there and listen and watch. Like, oh shit, this is interesting. Like, people actually being people.
Sometimes they'll try to jump into the conversation.
Right, exactly. Because it's like, damn, this is exciting. I've never seen something like this before. You might get on the train. If you come from a foreign world, everybody knows you different. You're not from New York, because New York just is a weird fucking Gotham City, bro. Man, but let's very weird energy, man. But again, this stuff that we're reading here is so detailed. How the hell they gonna come out and say, oh, some radicalists just hacked into it and made it up? What you mean made it up? Who in their right mind sits there and thinks about all this stuff? Unless you're the inside, you're not gonna be coming up with information like this. And why the hell would they make up some shit and send it to specific people? And then they'll label it. It doesn't happen. People don't do that. All right, we're not that stupid. Or you gonna pull that shit and be like, well, there's this conspiracy. You know, don't look into it. But if it's there, just let it be there.
Yeah, but you know how they do damage control. What they'll do is because you know what, they still have to implement the same agenda, but now they gotta say, all right, well, now we gotta take a different route and try to make it seem as least similar to that as possible. But guess what? If you gotta get to that end, whether you go this way or through the grass or over that side, you're still gonna end up at the same place. All right, and that's the blueprints the Lord has given us. He's given us your final GPS location. You know, like that movie Final Destination. So we waiting for you, nigga. We already over there. We got the bench, we got the popcorn, and we're waiting for your ass. We're literally watching the movie unfold, and we're seeing it all come over here. You know, we're seeing how the world is gonna end up. We're seeing how Esau's gonna come. We're seeing what the Most High is gonna do to him. So we're waiting, man. We're waiting for it. And that's why the Lord talked about in your patience, possess your souls and measure the times diligently. Okay?
Random times, right? It says continue the border variant. It says people traveling between the two countries have brought two different variants into the two countries, which are mixing and spreading, mutating with other variants. You see how ridiculous that sounds? That's the same ridiculous shit we hear on TV, and they actually run with it. So don't tell us that, oh no, some people just made it up. No, you said it and you got caught. Okay, and we're gonna keep bringing your ass out and telling you and tell the people what the fuck you guys are doing, whether they're here or forbear. Our job is to give warning, and this is part of giving warning. Okay, it says we could also work this in with football fans attending Euro 2020 matches in Scotland. Why would somebody come up and make up some shit and make it seem like they are in the power position? We gonna do it. Nigga, if somebody's a radicalist, why would they be coming up with some shit like this? Exposing themselves? That doesn't make no sense. You see? But the fact that you have an interest in coming out and saying that shit that came out is a leak and it's somebody who made it up, that shows that what you guys are doing is wrong, man.
And
people
what?
catch on to the truth.
Right? One thing too, there was a WhatsApp video of some health scientist who was basically talking about those who've taken the thing, they ain't no going back.
Oh yeah.
And eventually your antibodies your body ain't gonna produce, it's gonna kill off how your body produces regular good antibodies, and eventually you're gonna be left defenseless. And basically the video was saying that anybody who took it is gonna die within 2 years. And when you look it up, they say no, that's false. That he didn't actually say that. And when you actually read the Snopes or the fact check article, what they're saying is because he didn't physically, literally say the words, anybody who took it is going to die in 2 years, that is false. But when you read what he's saying, the point of what he's making is that because you took it, within a 2 year span, within that range, you're likely to be done because of the way when your body naturally produces antibodies. Now, the way your body works is if it's getting something that it's supposed to produce, then it reduces its production and uses what's coming in. So there's not an overflow. Okay? Like insulin. You know, your body naturally produces insulin. When you're giving your body insulin, it says, okay, I guess I'm not going to produce the insulin anymore. And I'm going to get what you give me. But over time, what happens? Eventually, your body can't produce that insulin on that level anymore and it's dependent on you. When you're not giving the insulin, now it's like, oh shit, what do I do? It's like if somebody went into a coma and they don't walk, they don't use their legs and all of that. Or, you know, they're constantly using crutches. If they constantly use crutches, even though they can walk, over time, if you take away the crutches, they can't walk. Because their body is supposed to walk, but they haven't exercised it. That's why people have to go to physical therapy to be able to walk again. All right? So that's how it works with your antibodies. Your body's going to cut back on it and rely on what they give you. But they said what they give you is not permanent. It's temporary. So your body is relying on a temporary source while depleting its permanent source. And then when it can't produce its permanent source anymore and the temporary source runs out, you're exposed with no form of antibodies, and then you're susceptible to any disease out there. That's why the dude was saying that biting people in the midst of a pandemic is the worst thing to do, is not the wisest thing to do. In essence, he said the same thing, but they said it was fake. Because he didn't literally say that.
There was actually a video of him singing.
Yeah, so how can you trust them? Because what they're trying to say is, we know it. I mean, what's the best we can say? Right. You know? Right. Well, he didn't literally say that, so everything is fake. Right. You know?
Now I looked up the word variant. Okay, going back to what they because that's all we keep hearing. Oh, the variant, the Delta variant. The fuck? Variant says tending to change. Okay? Something substantially the same, but in a different form. So Delta variant ain't different from that. They said it. They said, well, this isn't a deadly disease or anything like that. It's just a little bit more of a infection rate. It's gonna go higher. Oh, fucking crazy. Oh shit, we gotta lock down the whole world because COVID 2.0. COVID ain't do nothing. You see? But they keep playing the games of fear. Oh goodness, cases, COVID, spaces. We need to, like, come on, bro. But it's an agenda once again, and people are gonna keep falling for the agenda. until the troops come out, start grabbing people up, putting you in concentration camps, and you start to see what happens when you just listen to government, let them do whatever they want to do. Biden is saying he about to come for guns. That's the final step. Once you disarm the people, they're done. Look what's happening in Australia. Look what's happening in the UK. They can't fight back. You got measly ass, weak ass cops walking around putting people down, talking about do not resist. I ain't do nothing wrong. Why you treat me like this? At this point, my life is in danger. I'm protecting my life. Fuck all that shit, nigga. Put the badge down. Fuck all that extra shit. This ain't you a terrorist now. I gotta defend myself. If I have a gun, nigga, I'm blowing all y'all niggas back, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody getting that 12 gauge, bro. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You see? But that's the spiritual power that's coming. When that time comes, like we've said it many, many times, you wicked ass centurions out there who just listen to orders like zombies just walking around, just doing dumb shit. The time comes, yo, you better, man. You see a man of the Lord, just book it, just be out. You sense the radius, like, oh, he's 50,000 miles away. This man could get here in 1 second. Let me just let me just be out. Because if we see, me personally, you centurions ain't safe around me. When that time comes, I'm saying it right on camera. You better be, hey, you know what I'm saying? That spiritual power gonna do some things, and we gonna see. Because you devils some point.
Yeah, because really, it's ultimately going to be the Lord.
It's gonna be,
You know, he's going to put a kind of spirit on us, you know, depending on what it is.
That's it.
Hey, because you might have certain centurions that the Lord will put the spirit on you to deliver.
Yeah.
You know, like Paul, when he got thrown into prison, there was that centurion in there who the point of Paul being in prison was to deliver that centurion and his house. You know, so in that time, man, hey, the Lord's going to put the spirit, different kinds of spirits. You know, because you got to think about it. You may be put in a situation where you might not need spiritual power. Or you may be put in a situation where the kind of power you may need might not be to fight, but maybe to disappear, to reappear, or to provide, you know, to heal. Yo, man, let me tell you something. Healing, a healer is one of the most valuable, okay, powers in many situations. When you watch the movie by what's his name, Jamie Foxx, the superpower movie where they take the pill to get the powers. I forgot what it was called. Power, I think it was Power or something like that. But in that movie, there was one chick who could heal, and she was important. They wanted her, you know, because to be able to heal anything, of course people are gonna want you, man. And there was also, I think it was her.
I think it was Project Power.
Project Power, that's the movie, right? Yeah, that's the one. And then there's another one, Code 8. Code 8. Yeah. With I forgot the name. With the electricity. Yeah. There was a healer in that movie, and everybody wanted her. Because yo, imagine you get half your brain blown out, and she could just come and heal you like you're back to normal. Your leg is broken off, and she can heal you like you're back to normal. You know? That's very important. Because you can be strong as shit, but if you got blown to bits and you can't heal, you're done. You know? Now imagine the Lord give you some power like Wolverine, you know, or Deadpool. You get boom, your head is off. You don't have a head anymore, but that shit just comes right back. You regenerate.
Hey, you know? Esau knows that the men of the Lord gonna have that because nobody in the street. Because
that kind of power.
Yeah, because they know we gonna have that power because they're doing that now with their super soldiers, man. They have the serum that they pump into them that helps them regenerate their limbs.
Well, that's what Captain America and all that's all about.
Yep, Wolverine, all that shit. They show. Hey, Stan Lee, he said it that the X-Men is based on the Israelites, man. It's based on the so-called civil rights movement. So they know, man. They know. Hey, Black Jesus. All that stuff, they know that the chariots in the video you sent me, they shot a missile at the chariot, and the chariot was just there, like nothing happened.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm gonna re-upload that, man. Brothers got to see it. There's, I think it was like 4 chariots just in the air, and it was like they were dripping something, and then they shot a whole missile at the chariot. Boom! You see the smoke, and the chariot is just—it didn't move, it didn't phase, it was just there, just dripping the shit, dripping whatever was dripping, just like that. And the dude commenting is like, oh shit, you know, ain't nothing you can do. What the hell are you gonna do about that? What the hell? That's why the scripture saying second Ezra is that when the Lord saw the violence of the multitude, he did nothing. He didn't lift up hand nor take up sword, but only Ezra saw as it was like a blast coming from his mouth. You know, man, you people are finished, man. And imagine, Lord, he's gonna give us those kinds of bodies. You see in those movies where, you know, somebody gets punched and the dude is flying through buildings like Superman. I mean, damn near you broke through the building. If I hit the building, the building ain't getting broken through. My bones are getting broken. This man is break like 5 buildings, boom, and then he creates a crane in the back, and he gets out, and he just flies up, and he hits that dude into 10 buildings. That's the kind of body we're gonna have, man. Not this shit where a few pounds of pressure and somebody's neck is broken. You know, we're gonna have actual power where you can raise your vibration, like in Dragon Ball Z, where people energy, you know, energy can be felt. You know, energy that can be felt. That's what's gonna be radiating off of us. You know, yes, sir.
Yeah, but the brother seeking understanding brought up a precept. Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him, for the Lord hath created him.
And you see, that's why physicians are very important. You know, because you may overlook a physician until you're sick. First you're gonna pray, but you're gonna be like, hey man, I tell you this, you curse out Esau all you want. There's a certain kind of way that you feel. You be like, oh yo, I gotta get my ass. You're gonna say the prayer, but you're gonna say, hey, you know, I gotta go see what it is. You know, because they have some technology that they can at least let you know what's going on. Of course, you can do it to an extent, but my man, if you have a broken leg, your shin got broken in half. Don't sit there talking about, nah, you know, hey, look, Esau's the devil. I ain't gonna take you, man. Better get your ass over there. You know, use that wisdom. Okay.
God, so we're almost done with this article here. This thing that they say that is fake, but is really real. It says,
I mean, to hell with, hey, look, even if it is fake, who cares? We gonna see the same thing happen anyway, man. Okay. Prophecy is still gonna take place. This devil is still gonna go down. Jacob's trouble is still gonna come. And guess what? This could be fake, but Jacob's trouble is gonna be worse, and that's real. And you know what? You're gonna wish this was real when you in Jacob's trouble, man.
God, it says, we could also work this in with football fans attending Euro 2020 matches in Scotland. This will mean a transport ban between the two nations from Friday, July 2nd. It says also, which did they do that? I'm not sure they did.
No, you know what I'm thinking? What I'm thinking is they might just do what's in there, but the dates, they might just switch up the times. Yeah. Because eventually they're gonna do that, but they're just gonna switch up the times. You know?
It says, please also be aware that in order to get more people to be vaccinated, GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, is to stop the production of medicines for common colds, flu, and hay fever, along with Johnson & Johnson, Bayer, AG, Sanofi, Merck and Co. Limited, etc. These are all companies that have been sued before for the people suffering from defects and so many different things from using their products. There was a man, this was years ago. He sued, I think it might have been Bayer, for these the weed killers, and he used it, and his whole face, man, bro, his whole body, he got all this weird ass, you know, thing, and he sued them, and he won. There's been a lot of class action lawsuits against these companies, you know what I'm saying? And every time you take them up to court, they lose, because it's like, damn, this is the type of shit you got in your products for people to consume. It's like you're killing people, and they do it because it's money.
There was a video that the elder Yashurama put up, and it was like maybe a year or two ago, going into, and they were asking this old dude what the ingredients actually are that are put into these scenes, right? The scenes, and he was saying it. They were asking, "Is there a baby fetus?" He's you know, monkey something, you know, pick this, yeah. He's like, he's looking at it. And some of them he didn't want to answer it, but he's looking at it, he's like, yeah, it's in there. And yo, everything is in you. And now you're wondering, wait a minute, hold on 1 second. Why do you have monkey, whatever it is? I mean, why do you have pig parts? Why do you? Well, they said they got what's that thing? From sharks. I think it was from sharks or something like that they're actually putting into the scenes, you know. And they ask, so why do you have baby? Where the hell are you getting that to put it? You tell me them aborted babies? You taking things out? Guess what? Look up a company called Sonomics. Sonomics uses their flavoring they get from a certain enzyme. I think it's an enzyme from baby fetuses. Okay, so and guess what? A lot of Sonomics makes a lot of your everyday products, your cookies, your cereal, your oatmeal, your drinks, your Gatorade. Guess what? It's all up in that. You know? And guess what? They coat freaking candy in beaver anus. Yep. I bet you ain't know that, right? Jolly Ranchers, M&Ms, you know, and you wonder why it's sticky. Some of them be smelling funny. You like, yo, what's up? Why candy smell like ass? You know, because it is ass. Now you should ask yourself, wait a minute, who in their right mind stopped for a second and said, yo, let's catch a beaver and coat candy in its anus? First off, why? How? That's a demonic thought. For you to sit there and of all animals, a beaver, what were you doing with a beaver to find out anything about its anus? Why are you worried about anybody's anus? Huh? They said that's exactly what they do. They search out iniquities. I don't know if a beaver or platypus, one of them, the big teeth, one of them got the big tails.
That's a platypus.
That's
Yeah.
the platypus. They're devils, man. You know? But this is why no creature is safe. And this is really why the Most High had to hide them dinosaurs, man. Because Esau would have been all up harassing them, fiddling them out, you know, trying to fix fondling, you know. So you try doing that with Leviathan. You try go finding Leviathan's anus and see what happens to you. That nigga's gonna destroy your ass, man. You know, he's gonna breathe that fire. Hey, this is why this devil gotta go, because they literally do this. You would have thought they would stop at little boys, but no, they're going for the animals. They probably go for the little boy animals. And they document this stuff. Red Bull, yeah. Guess what? They dealing with the bulls. They dealing with the horses. Nothing is safe, man. That's why the scriptures say that the earth is out of course, man. Nothing is safe on the earth, man. We not safe. The animals ain't safe. The trees ain't safe. Nothing is safe, man. This devil is invading everything in the most perverse way possible. Everybody's whole. They're coming for everybody, man. And that's why this devil got to get taken out of power. You know?
Destroy them that destroy the earth. You know, so Esau, you're gonna be destroyed. I mean, nigga, there's a judgment for what you do. You have that in your law system, in your injustice world that you live in, that you created, known as America, Babylon the Great. You still have laws that governs the land. So if people have to adhere to your laws, what about the ultimate laws of nature that you are continuously destroying every single day? You throwing chemtrails up in the heavens, you know, talking about your reason for doing that is we got to block out the sun for global warming. How about you leave things be?
Why would the Most High create the sun in the first place? Global warming. Nigga, don't you need heat? Don't the plants need sunlight for photosynthesis? How you gonna get oxygen if you're trying to kill the trees? Because after the deforestation was not enough, don't you know that deforestation not only affects plants, but it affects the animals in the ecosystem? And if the ecosystem cannot obtain homeostasis, that affects your ass too, nigga. You taking certain, these devils don't understand that when you take a fish and you genetically modify it and you put it back into the ocean, that affects the animals that eat the fish. Because there's everything that's put in a fish is used in some way, shape, or form. And when you take it out, because your dumbass thinks that it's not necessary because you don't understand, guess what? You're affecting the ecosystem. And that's why you even go to the coral reefs in the bottom of the ocean and they're done, destroyed. This devil had the ocean on fire because oil was on fire in the middle of the ocean. This dude is doing war games, throwing missiles into the ocean, blowing shit up for what? Why? That's why they're called the son of perdition. Everywhere they go, there's destruction. You know, they take nature and turn it into death. They take life, turn it into death. They take positivity, turn it into death. That is the purpose of this devil. And it's funny, it's ironic how he's complaining about a virus when he's the actual virus on the earth. How come all these viruses weren't there like the way they are during the previous rulerships and empires, man? Because this man is the problem. And there's a reason the Lord has set him up like that, because he's about to take him down swiftly. As Yahushua said, I beheld Satan falling as lightning. 2 Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So he actually has to end the world. He got to end this age. And then the Lord is going to bring that new age. And that's why it says the saints the saints shall take the kingdom. Because if we don't take the kingdom, it's going to be destroyed. There ain't going to be nothing for us to take. Okay? And we're going to take you too. We're going to shackle your ass. And we're going to take you heathens too. We're going to have a great ass time doing it, man. And who's going to stop us? Hey, King David said, they cried even unto the Lord, and he ain't answered them. Then did I beat them small. So we got the authority from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and we're gonna take everything.
What has something to say? So,
Yeah, I have a precept real quick. This is the book of Isaiah 14. And I'm gonna jump down to verse 4. It says, and I'm gonna jump down. It says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased, and he's an oppressor. We just described many things. He's oppressed everything. He's oppressed life in itself. And he's trying to oppress the spirit. That's where he's trying to go now. He said, forget the physical now. I already got that unlocked with the sword. I want to now get the spiritual, but you know how he wants to use it? He wants to use a digital sword. He's using a physical sword to attack your physical, but he wants to use a digital sword to attack your spiritual. Okay, and that's why they got the whole agenda with the mark, okay, and all of that, and the 5G and all of that, because they want to get technology into your body. It says, how have verse 5, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, all right, and the scepter of the rulers, so their power structure is going to be destroyed. It says, he will smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, because this devil don't stop. The nigga don't stop. He been going. He fails and he comes back to continue. What does it say in Malachi? We will return and build the desolate places. It says, verse 6, he will smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hinder it. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing, because that's what's going to happen when this devil gets taken out. Mm-hmm.
so part of the atrocities that they commit.
And then when you hit the main points.
Yeah. It says, and we're almost done with this. So it says, no chemist will be able nor allowed to sell them. We must count on the people's willing obedience, as well as the prime minister and his ministers, to be compliant with us. We all know that if this were to unravel and fall apart, that the consequences would be dire. If we can continue to manipulate the majority, this will make things a lot easier and allow us the extra breathing space required. For example, you're a true patriot if you obey. Also, and Biden be using words like that. It's not a political thing. It's your patriotic duty.
Right.
Like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Unity.
Yeah, all that shit. Nobody want to be no American, nigga. What does it mean to be an American? You ran to be a president on what? You see, that's what they do. Republican, Democrat. Republicans come into power, they sign a whole bunch of bills. Democrats come and take over, and all 4 years, all they do is let's unwind everything the Republicans did. And then the Republican comes back and says, oh, they fucked this up. We got to change this now. 4 years, let's redo the same shit they just undid. And then it's a same cycle every 4 years. It's undo, redo, just in different terms.
And they're doing that. They're doing the sleight of hand, right? So that's what you're seeing,
Right.
You know. And
Right.
then next thing you know, you're like, wait, we should stay in the same place,
Right.
But we moving closer and closer to some agenda. What the hell?
It says also certain groups such as blacks, Asians, and the gay community are being ignorant and problematic with regards to vaccinations. More is necessary to educate these groups into conforming or having both vaccines when instructed to. Regarding our immunity from future prosecutions, this depends on both the Prime Minister ourselves, retaining a good relationship and both his and other government ministers complying.
Now, let's say this is fake, right? Let's say this is real. Why would they come out and actually admit to this being from them?
Right.
Why in the world would they come out and because this isn't an article that just says oh well, let's try to do this. And no, this is an article that says this is the reason why we're gonna try to do it. Why the hell would they ever the interview that who's that Nick Rockefeller did with Aaron Russo?
Oh, yeah.
They try to say that Nick Rockefeller don't exist, but we saw the interview. So what do you mean? How the hell are we supposed to trust you? You're the same person coming and telling us what's real and fake.
It says, and guess what? Everything Aaron Russo said is actually what's happening.
Exactly.
So you can't say, oh, well, Nick Rockefeller. So where did he get that information? He just made it up?
Yeah.
He gonna think of a Rockefeller, he gonna think of Nick. What a specific name. And then you saw pictures of that nigga too.
Well, but he's gonna formulate the whole shit. Why would you make it like an interview? Why don't you just come out and say it?
Right.
You know, it's true regardless, right?
It says, okay, so if that's the case, then everything he said must be false.
Yeah.
He was was it a governor? He was running for a governor or a mayor or some shit like that. And then they saw the influence and the power that he had. So he came and he said, yeah, you could be part of the group, bro. You could be part of what we do. Look, this is what we plan to do. Eventually we're gonna microchip the population, they're gonna be slaves, and don't worry about it.
We talk about women's
Liberate. Exactly.
But wait, that's very accurate though. But no, it was made up.
It says, he knows that leverage. He knows what leverage we have over him, and therefore, as he is bound and guided by us first and foremost, we can get our way. That's talking about the prime minister.
So see, this isn't even speaking from a governmental perspective.
No.
This is from a higher up. Yeah.
National Health Service.
So
So they're gonna be the new, like
Powers.
the CDC.
Yeah.
You know,
Dictators of what happened.
that's it. It says, however, because remember, you could be the prime minister, but you're listening to the guidance of the CDC.
Yeah.
Oh, but the CDC said this. Well, you're the president, nigga. You can't say no. No. Well, we listen to the health and the science.
Who made them? You know, who made them an authority?
Yep.
Just a while back, they were only known through movies and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, the CDC. Oh, you heard about what's that? Oh, you know the diseases and shit.
Yeah.
Why the hell do you have a CDC? What? Wait, tell me. What time period did they ever have a CDC? Please tell me. You know, Romans had some lab where they were doing some shit, and now let's keep the virus that almost wiped out the whole population, but now let's keep it in here. For what? Come on, man.
It says, however, we also have the literal, quote unquote, get out of jail free card by stating that we were following the data and doing our best for the people. That's it. That's the only thing that just trust the science.
That's what Fauci used.
That's what he did. That's
what he used. Oh, we were following the curve.
Yeah.
Remember that? The curve.
Yeah, bend the curve. Nigga, we still trying to bend the curve, bro. There's another curve coming.
I should get higher.
It says,
oh, now they're saying that the Israeli Air Force has reportedly attacked targets in Gaza on Saturday. So that whole ceasefire, you can forget that.
Let's get it.
Man, the Air Force?
Mm-hmm. It says, so long as that line continues to be put out and believed, such as in the case of issuing midazolam to the elderly, we should be just fine and will avoid any flack. In closing, therefore, let's keep this up for the next weeks or the next few weeks and ensure that you are seen to be acting only in the best interest of the United Kingdom in fighting against the virus. Please print out a copy of this and keep it under lock and key. Do not forget basic security, as what the public don't know will not hurt them.
Oh, you know, one thing I'll say, in the book Behold a Pale Horse, they actually mention something like this, where they say there's when they try to cover up the truth, they don't bring out something that's completely wayward. No, they actually bring out the exact truth. Different names, different wording, different titles, and then they put simple petty mistakes in there. And you know what that does? That sets up the fact-checking sites to look good and say, oh, look, they said blacks. Official articles don't refer to them as blacks. They'll say African Americans. So that's a sign that it's fake. Oh, what name is this? That doesn't exist. What date is this? That didn't happen on this date. And then guess what? You get completely thrown off. When in actuality, it's the same thing. That's how they do it. They actually do that. They actually do that. Because if they can eliminate it, because if they throw something completely opposite, then you're going to eliminate that opposite possibility, but you're going to still be able to find what they're doing. But if what they throw is actually what they're doing, and you eliminate that out your mind, you ain't going to be searching, you know?
I finish off, it says, as ever, deny all knowledge of having received this information. And that's what they just did.
Yeah.
It says, even if it means lying to those you know. That's the trait of Esau, man. That's all they do, lie. Scripture said, never trust thine enemy. We know who the enemy is. We don't got to tell you. Based on their track record, their history tells you who they are as the enemy, man. If you got people who want to suppress you, you got people who got police officers going around shooting and killing you, and they set up a system where you know you're oppressed, doesn't that make them the enemy?
Con. Job 20:12. though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. So he hides it with his lies.
Yes.
Okay? Though, and that's what the fair speech is. Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. See?
See? We
That's
can't
the
trust
devil.
them, man. It says, we don't want our emails to be hacked or compromised. Why is that? You hiding something we don't want nobody to know? Well, guess what? Got it right here. bitch.
Secret councils, man.
You know, so that's pretty much it, man. A memorandum that they have, and it's been leaked, and they're mad. You see, so now they're gonna have to do the whole damage control. And, oh, it's conspiracy theory. You guys are hacking this. Guess what? The information is out. People can see. Hey, my mom was telling me yesterday. She said these people going around maxing people and shit. Now they're doing what they're doing is you mind your own business, walking in the street. Hey, excuse me, sir. Have you been back? Man, get the fuck. You know. So the man looked at him. He's like, what? And she said, do you want to, get the, the shot? He looked at her like, no, I don't. They're like, but why? Don't you? Do you want us to give you more information on how? He said, no, because I don't trust you. That's what he said. And she was like, oh, okay, And they're like, well, what the fuck? You don't trust me? What you mean you don't trust me? Bitch, there's this thing, Rand Paul was saying it. You got people saying what they call vaccine hesitancy. And it's not because you got so-called misinformation like us coming out and speaking out the truth, you label it as misinformation. No, it's because of how you guys are going about it. You're lying to people, man. You think that people are just so dumb, but guess what? They are dumb, but you got us. You see? And we see the shit that you're doing, and then we bring it out to the dumb people and say, look, this is what they're saying, this is what they're doing. And they're like, oh, wait, oh shit, now we dumb, but then you're right, bro.
We ain't that dumb.
We're not dumb. That shit,
Even a broken clock is what, right? Twice
a day.
Look at Patrick. Patrick, he's dumbass. They get sleep under a rock. But even still, sometimes he be coming up with
some
SpongeBob, cause
right.
smart ideas. You're like, that's Patrick?
You know? So the truth is waking up everyone, and that's what's shaking these devils. They don't care about anything else but the information coming out. Listen, the last end of the email says what? Keep that shit on the wraps. And if they come up and say, oh, we saw, lie about it. Lie about it. Make sure that people don't believe that what they saw is actually real. But what we're telling them is what's real.
But you know what? We're gonna wait. That's all. What did the Lord say? Watch as well as pray. So we're gonna watch and we're gonna pray. And we're gonna see what happens. Because one way or another, right, as of right now, we know that there's a new variant out, a Delta variant, and we know that they're contemplating doing lockdowns now. So we're gonna watch and we're gonna see it unfold. And either way it goes, we know it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for you people, man. So I got one more precept to close it out. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we know that a part of his devices is that. A part of his devices is telling you that what you see is true is not true, putting a lie for truth. And so very soon it's going to get to the point where you literally cannot find truth anywhere. It tells you that in the Apocrypha. You're going to type something on Google and you've seen it, it's true, but they're going to tell you the complete opposite. And you're going to realize, hey, you cannot, truth is now going to be condemned. It's going to be outcasted, and you're going to be a criminal if you speak truth. All right? So that's pretty much it. Lord willing, that was edifying. Hey, like we said, we're going to watch and see, but we know the direction in which this world is going in, man. Okay, and all hell is getting ready to break loose, and this devil is getting ready to come down with that great wrath, man. So, hey, prepare in the spirit, stay in the spirit, and stay praying, man. All right, so with that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Next time, Shalom.
Shalom.